Back in late 2022, I decided to challenge myself, going outside of my comfort zone to find the worst album of all time. Up until that point, I always stuck close to my chest and only tried listening to things I enjoyed, so I thought it would be a fun experience. I realized that Anthony Fantano, the most popular music critic on the internet, officially gave 5 albums a 0 out of 10 score, and that I had yet to listen to a single one of them. I thought it would be fun to record my reactions to the 5 albums, which ended up being one of the greatest decisions of my life. After reacting to those 5 albums, I created the video and uploaded it under the name I listened to every Fantano 0 out of 10 album, and this video quickly exited my target audience and tripled the size of my channel during the week it was first posted. This video has given me so many cool opportunities, and it forever changed the shape of my channel, and I am truly grateful to each and every person who watched that video. Some of the hate I received on that video was fully justified, like how shallow some of my critiques were, the inaccurate research sections before each album, and the audio quality being borderline unlistenable, which, I'm just gonna say it now, this video has audio issues of its own, and I apologize for that. I'm working it out. However, the support far surpassed the criticism, and so I'm back today to listen to more 0 out of 10 albums. Some of the most frequently asked questions on part 1 of this series were, why didn't you react to the Lil B 0 out of 10? Why didn't you react to the Planningtorock album? Will you react to Corey Feldman? The truth is, the answer to each album is slightly different, but now that Fantano has given the new MGK album a 0 out of 10 score, I thought this was the best time to check out all of these albums. Just like last time, there are timestamps in the description that link directly to your favorite or least favorite album in the video, so feel free to click around. Without further ado, let's get into the first album, Genre Sad Boy by MGK and Trippie Redd.
It's not a foreground listen, it's not a background listen, it's really honestly a no listen. It's a no listen, which is why I'm feeling a 0 on this.
So what are my thoughts on MGK as an artist? Okay, I'll get into Trippie Redd in a second. MGK, for one, changed his name to MGK from Machine Gun Kelly. Not sure why he did that, if it's part of the album rollout, if he thought, oh, more people call me MGK than Machine Gun Kelly, let's just change it, or what the deal was. But his name is MGK now on Spotify. I used to listen to a tiny bit, because I used to like Black Bear, and then I listened to the song with Halsey. Yeah. So I used to listen to those 2 songs. They very quickly, I grew out of them insanely quickly. I realized how shallow everything was and how kind of soulless the swap from pop punk to, or from rap to pop punk was for MGK. So I don't really listen to him anymore. In my Hive Mind Worst Songs Part 1, I listened to Emo Girl, which was on this Mainstream Sellout album, which apparently he changed the album cover for, which I don't know why he did that. It seems like he likes rebranding stuff that people don't like. My impressions of MGK are not very high, just from what I've listened to so far. He's not my favorite artist. Haven't really liked anything I've heard from him, but I have plenty of friends who love MGK. So this will be a fun experience. Trippie Redd, on the other hand, okay, have not listened to as much of him. Obviously, he's a very big feature artist, you know, Miss the Rage, F Love, these types of songs. He had an album, Mansion Music, that I got 2 tracks into and had to give up because I thought it was so terrible. So my impression of Trippie Redd, also not the highest. I think he's more like a guest vocalist that doesn't really stand out. I think was he on Joji's album too? He was on Ballads. Trippie Redd's song on Ballads was not the greatest. So while I don't have the highest impression of these artists going into this album, I'm still hopeful that maybe they'll blend and it'll work. They'll have some sort of synergy or some sort of way to make it work. And so, you know what? Let's dive right in to Lost Boys, which, you know, is a Death Grips song. So way to go full circle.
Guess I lost my life again, drowning out in a life of sin. I guess
okay. To start, you know, I don't want to gripe on this too hard. Auto-tune, not the greatest. All right. I feel like if you're gonna strip away all this instrumentation, it's just the guitar, you know, have that kind of authentic feel, kind of like a Nick Drake, or maybe more of like a folk feel. The auto-tune kind of took me out of it, but that's not egregious. Okay, song's fine. This part's really good, guys. I don't know, man.
One is for all those I love. This one's for the suicide. Everything is blue inside. People won't say how they feel about you until you die.
Oh no, not the greatest start to the album. All right, Trippie Redd, this part was like acceptable. It wasn't great. I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. You know, he kind of, it's just kind of boring. It wasn't bad per se. MGK comes in, and I already covered some of his lyricism on Emo Girl when I listened to that, but this is not much better. You know, his flow here, not on this line in particular, was really bad. He's so on the nose. Why does he like, he doesn't, I feel like he doesn't try. He's like, what do I want to write about? Oh yeah, I want to write about how I'm blue and sad and I'm gonna commit. There's the lyrics, and then he just writes them down. Like, dude, think for a second before you write. I don't know. It's just so shallow. It's so surface level.
Y'all being pragmatic. Bitch, I'm illmatic.
Hot take. Maybe my hottest take in my entire career. Okay, I've given some hot takes in the past. Some would argue that I had some in my first 0 out of 10 part. I think Illmatic is slightly better than MGK, his entire discography. I think Illmatic has MGK beat, but he's claiming to be Illmatic in this line right here, and so I don't know what to think. I'm gonna hear him out. I'm gonna listen to the rest of this verse.
When at Art Basel, so I guess I lost my life again.
Back to this boring part. I don't like this part at all, bro. That was one of those songs that you listen to. Maybe your friend plays it on the aux. Although if your friend plays this on the aux, you gotta have a nice little conversation with them. Be like, yo, what's up, man? This is one of those songs you listen to and you forget you ever listened to. I don't think, you know, we did just start the album. It's 10 tracks. That was only the first one. It is one of the most popular, which frightens me. I didn't think that was 0 out of 10 worthy. I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't like, you know, thinking back, I know a lot of people loved Speed and Bullet to Heaven, which I personally do not understand. I could understand maybe liking a couple tracks, but as a album experience, I think it's terrible. But this was more tolerable than a lot of those Kid Cudi tracks. It was for sure more tolerable than the Tones and I album, but it's certainly forgettable. It's kind of pandering, especially with MGK's verse. MGK's verse in particular was really bad, but the rest of the song, I'm gonna forget I ever listened to this. And when I edit the video, I'm gonna be like, whatever. Who cares? So I'm not gonna add it to any playlists because I thought it was mid. I don't care about what I listen to, but I certainly wouldn't give it a 0. He sampled Imogen Heap, or I guess that's Frou Frou. All right, if you're gonna sample one of the best artists of all time, okay, I gave that Frou Frou album a 10 out of 10 score. I don't give those out very often. Okay, if you're gonna sample Frou Frou Let Go, you better deliver with a banger. Okay, there's no excuse. You are dealing with one of the best songs on one of the best albums I've ever heard. Okay, if this song is bad, I'm gonna be mad. Oh no. Go back to the boring folk song, please. Or like whatever the last song was, okay? I don't think you could really call it folk, but it was better. I'm 16 seconds into this song and like 12 of those seconds were a sample. But okay. Already the percussion came in and it sounds so weak and flimsy. Like this song, I don't know. It's lost. It's lost. This should be the song called Lost Boys, okay? Because they lost what they're supposed to do.
I don't wanna let go.
This song's gonna ruin Let Go from... Hold on. If you guys have never heard this song, one of my favorite pop songs ever. Let me skip to the part that he keeps sampling. Her voice, Imogen Heap's voice is spectacular. Okay? She's a great vocalist and she knows how to sing. And so, you know, I really do love that album. I love that song. It's probably top 3 on the album. Okay? Listen to Imogen Heap and Frou Frou if you haven't. What MGK just did was, where were we at? 30 seconds in? He started, you know, singing his version of the interpolated hook. He kind of just stole the hook, but his vocals, you know, don't have that clean, just bliss and euphoria that Imogen's have. Okay, let's run it back. I hate this vocal distortion, pitching, all of it. None of it works in this context. This functionally is just the Imogen Heap chorus, but worse. It actually does not contribute anything new. He just stole the hook and the lyrics and made it sound significantly worse. Sorry I'm getting so bad at the second song, but I just need to go off for a second. In my personal opinion, if you sample something, either one, you should use it better than the original artist did, or two, you should use it in a new context. And MGK and Trippie Redd are doing neither right here. It is the same hook, but performed significantly worse. And it just sounds bad. Sonically, it doesn't work because, you know, they changed the pitching on Imogen's vocals, and MGK's vocals are pitched poorly and they sound awful too. So I don't think this hook is going to work. And if I hear it multiple times, I'm going to get really mad because it sucks.
I don't take out, I just order in. Cross the Arizona, cross the same like the Mandalorian. 21.
Dude, every line sucks. Every single one has sucked so far. The Mandalorian, I don't, you know, whatever. Quote that if you want. If you're a big fan, you're like, and then I got this pain in my gut like a hernia. I don't take out, I just order in. I hate this. It's so obvious and on the nose. Like, that's just what this means. It's not clever.
I'm not enough. Hope this wasn't fair, no.
Has Trippie Redd come in yet? I guess it's a 3-minute song and we're halfway through, but, you know, I'd expect... I'm thinking back to Scaring the Hose by JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown. You know, that was like a dream team. There were songs that each of them would come in and out. Like, I'm thinking back to, like, Muddy Waters. So far, it's just been... They haven't really had synergy. It's kind of just been, they both did their parts. On the first song, Trippie's part was significantly better than MGK's. I'm hoping it's the same on this song, because otherwise this song is a 0. I'm going to just come out and say it. If it was the Hive Mind worst songs tier list, I would put it in the F tier. It's worse than Emo Girl for sure. At least Emo Girl had Willow's part, which I'd kind of liked some of. Yeah. No! No! What? I zoned out because this is so boring and one note. But I'm a hot boy colder than the snow, You know what, guys? I don't think I ever would have come up with that in my entire life. And I don't think anyone else could have either. I think some lines have never been spoken before, not because they are impossible to come up with. You know, it's not like some insane, thoughtful lyrics. It's because people are too embarrassed. They're thinking, if I said I'm a hot boy colder than the snow, no one would listen to my music. But clearly it's working for them because this is the most popular song on the album, which frightens me beyond belief because this is far worse than the first song. And, you know, I'm hoping that the songs only improve from here because otherwise, you know, we're looking at a pretty bad album. I'm so mad he sampled this song. I really am. That song was abysmal. Absolutely horrible, terrible, awful, garbage song. Man, that was awful. At least the first song was boring, and I will forget it tomorrow. I'll forget that I listened to it. I'm not going to forget that MGK sampled Frou Frou and made Imogen Heap sound bad. I'm not going to forget that. She's one of my favorite vocalists. She's one of my favorite artists. Yeah, MGK's parts were, you know, a travesty to listen to. Trippie Redd's parts were boring, other than the, you know, the hot boy being colder than snow line. You know, that wasn't great. And here's where the streams take a nosedive. Okay, I gave this, I'm listening to this on the 28th of April, and this says March 29th. I gave this album a month, kind of see, you know, let it settle. And it seems like the stream counts take a nosedive from here, which does not excite me. Let's time travel. Let's see what time travel means. I watched some time travel anime, you know. I love me some Steins Gate, love me some ReZero. Let's see what MGK and Trippie Redd are going to deliver to me.
Can get me out, but that's just how I brainstorm. Ain't this what we made for?
To give them a little bit of credit, all right? Time travel. This is the first song that they're, you know, kind of taking turns and swapping out. Think of like Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem. You know, that they're trying to have this level of synergy where they're coming in and out. So that already excites me. I feel like the song structure could be more exciting if they're kind of taking turns and contributing to each other's parts instead of being divided. Because so far, Trippie Redd has just outperformed MGK. There's no nice way to say it. Let's see if the song is better than the last two.
About the crib and all black with a mask got me feeling like Christian Bale. I got a cross out the face of my pictures. Is there heaven but off the medicine, bitch? I might just give him hell. We gon' ride for this.
Isn't Trippie Redd supposed to be a rapper? What was this flow? Why was it so like sounded like he was getting impaled or something? You guys hear that?
No, heaven but off the medicine, bitch. I might just give him hell.
What happened there? Just re-record the line. You're in the studio. Come on, man.
We gonna ride for this.
What is this voice? And what is the decision? Who's deciding to do the voice? Is it MGK? He's like, this would go hard. I need to do the voice here. Or is it like a producer tweaking the stuff? Because that person's tripping. If it's them, is it them together? They're like, oh yeah, let's, you know, we kind of collectively came up with this idea. I don't understand. I really don't.
High as fuck off the unknown. She gon' blow like a trombone. We gon' let off the...
Come on. Okay. If you're gonna say the MGK similes are fine, Micah, they're not that corny. Stop hating. Okay, you're hating MGK for no reason. You know, I saw MGK went after Brad Taste of Music on Twitter. You know, maybe MGK is right and you're just hating for fun. This line is terrible. Just objectively, this line is terrible. She gon' blow like a trombone. So what is clever? What is unique? What is inspirational? What does this line provide the song and the listener? The answer, in my opinion, is nothing. Would this line be better if he instead said, she gon' suck me like a blowjob? That's about as obvious as this line is. Would that be better? I don't know. I don't know.
That's a drum solo. Anemic with the shit. A heater with the
what
shit.
Did I just hear?
We gon' let off the drum roll. That's a drum solo. Anemic.
That's a drum solo? I thought you worked with Travis Barker for years. That's a drum solo? Dude, I'm gonna say it. I miss the pop punk. What are these songs? They're so boring. At least with the pop punk, you had a talented, you know, drummer, and there were some guitar riffs that it kind of tricked you. You're like, oh, this is real music. They're using real instruments. It's a real music. This is boring. Nothing is happening. There is so little happening that this little 4 shots of a drum in FL Studio caught me off guard because it's the first thing that's happened in the song that isn't an awful line in freaking a minute.
Shit, I'm hitting like I'm Derek Jeter with the shit. I'm sleeping with the shit. I'm paranoid. Keep me a
You're doing what? He ran out of rhymes, guys. He ran out of rhymes. You know, no, this is clever.
in this bitch. Shawty fucking suck the semen off my dick.
Wait, did I call it? She gon' suck me like a blowjob. Shawty sucked the semen off, but I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Wait, I said earlier that I would never be able to come up with these lines, and I just came up with one. Should I write an MGK song? Oh my gosh, I'm a genius. That's unbelievable. She's sucking on me like a blowjob. MGK, you got to put that. I know you're watching this, okay? You got to put that in your next song. I know that was Trippie Redd that said that, but they're collectively using the same amount of brain cells here to write these lyrics. I'm now learning that Trippie Redd isn't above MGK. He just hasn't been pulling out the banger lines like MGK has. You know, MGK kind of went crazy here, and now Trippie Redd's like, no. You know, we got to have synergy. We both got to pull it off here. Nothing happened in the whole that was a waste of 3 minutes. How long is this outro? And the song! All that people come to your music for, clearly, are the obvious lyrics. Why is there a 45-second outro on your song where nothing happens? Just end this song. The album's already short. Okay? You can barely yeah, it says EP on Spotify because it's short. You know, even though it's 10 songs, it's short enough to be considered an EP. Just end the song. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so annoyed. I do think this song was worse, okay? Because you had the awful Frou Frou sample and it was obnoxious and in your face. This song was worse than the first song though, because the first song I'm going to forget I listened to. That song, I'm going to remember the time lost. I'm going to remember that this wasted so much of my time. Struggles. That's what I'm feeling listening to this awful EP. Oh, I forgot to mention the branding of this album, okay? Genre sadboy. I think this is supposed to be like they're posing for a Spotify playlist. Like this is supposed to just be a Spotify playlist when you're feeling sad, which I think is some of the dumbest branding I've ever seen on an album ever. Okay, let me give them a bit of credit. I'm gonna give these artists a bit of credit, okay? There has not been one song on this album that has sounded the same. They've all sounded different, okay? This sounds drastically different from the upbeat second song. What's truly commendable, in my opinion, is that they have all managed to sound bad. There's not, you know, we're only 23 seconds into this one, but, you know, if your artistic output is like, I have a really good idea in this song, I'm just going to throw it way later in the song, and I'm going to place it track 4 of this awful EP with the first 3 songs being terrible. I'm sorry, I don't have much confidence that the rest of the song is going to be good. So, but that's on me, okay? People were right. There were some people that commented on part 1 saying, you're going into these albums wanting to hate them, which I'm not, okay? I very much want to enjoy music I listen to, but maybe people are right. I'm going to give this more of a fair chance, okay? The beginning was terrible. The first 3 songs were terrible, but maybe this song will get better.
Sometimes I'm sad as hell.
These vocals are atrocious. Ooh! This is so fire, guys. I was wrong. Oh, I needed this whistle. Oh, yeah.
Last breath, inhale, smoke, and get high one last time, whatever.
They're having a mid-off in the vocals. They're like, which one of us can sound worse? And I will say, lyrically, not the worst song. Arguably, by far, the best song on the album so far. Lyrically. Unfortunately, a lot of the sonic decisions, like these O's and the instrumental whistle breakdown, not my favorite. Not a big fan. But At least the lyrics aren't like, I'm committing and she's sucking like it's a blowjob. Like, it's better than that, all right? But the vocals sound awful. I hate when they both come in. It sounds so bad. Remember what I was saying about the synergy? I wanted them to, you know, kind of take turns. Please, Lord, do not come in at the same time because it sounds so bad. Please don't do it again. Wait, this is so catchy. Oh, yeah. All these stupid albums get me so mad. They always know how to start. I feel like I'm not a musical artist, okay? Maybe one day, probably not. Most likely not. I'm not creative enough. I feel like these artists know what their best song is, and they always put it at the front of the album, which is why I always commend a strong album closer. I'm always like, most of my favorite albums have that just phenomenal album closer because that proves to be, they're like, I have enough confidence in my record and my whole project that you will listen to the whole thing and get rewarded. But all of these 0 out of 10 videos have proven to me that these artists know how to throw their best song at the beginning. So I'm like, that was okay. And then the rest of it is just an absolute devastating listen to my ears. That song also sucked. Also terrible. At least the lyrics weren't as repulsive to listen to, but it wasn't great. Still, the vocals were really bad. The whistling was lazy and honestly just sounded bad. Sometimes I get lazy too, okay? The more I listen to this bad music, the more similar adjectives and words I'm going to use. And I'm going to use the word bad a lot because it's bad. Suddenly, we got a good song. Come on. Clutch up. From this tragedy. Underneath. There was hope. That drop was so lukewarm. Oh my gosh. We gotta get some energy. At least when MGK was making the pop punk stuff, there was some energy. Even if the style is not great. Avril Lavigne's probably like one of the few people I've heard nail the style. And even she, when she came back and tried to do it again, didn't do a fantastic job. But like I keep saying, at least he kind of belonged in pop punk. Okay, he didn't belong in hip hop. He doesn't belong in whatever this is. Okay, is it like lo-fi trap? I don't even know what to call this because it's boring. It's boring music. Genre boring. Oh wait, it was really nice of him because I couldn't really define the genre because nothing's happening. But it's sad boy. It's the sad boy genre. So far from what I've heard from the sad boy genre, I'm not a huge fan. Have you ever fucking cried in a limousine? No, I haven't. I don't know if that was meant to be a relatable line or what happened here. Oh. The ad-libs have been really good on this album is all I'll say. Yeah, I haven't. I don't know if any of the, 700,000 people that watched my part 1 0 out of 10 video have ever cried in a limousine. But fire, it was hilarious. It was a hilarious line. Good job, Trippie Redd.
Fuck it, ended up dead down. You were on my side.
Dude, that felt so shoehorned. They have negative synergy. I thought that with two artists that are so mid that they would be able to bounce off each other. But listen to this transition.
Fuck it, ended up dead down.
I can't believe this album is real. How did this collab happen?
And turn off my emotions like I'm fucking glitched.
Oh, that one hurt. That one hurt the soul. Okay, that one was bollocks. Okay, I turned British. That song was bollocks. At least it had the luxury of being a shorter song, so it didn't hurt for as long. But there were certainly some moments in that were unbelievably terrible, especially, you know, that glitch part. That rocked my entire body. That one was unreal. There were several drops on this song that I don't know if they were meant to go hard or something, but they completely fell flat. And the synergy between the two artists does not work in this runtime because it felt so awkward just having them try to fit both of their parts in. Yeah, that song wasn't very good. I wouldn't argue that it's as bad as a lot of these because these were longer and I had to suffer for longer. Oh, Lord. Is this about to be like suburban cradles or something? That's the vibe I'm getting off the beat immediately. Oh, actually, I'm gonna give this a couple seconds and we'll run cradles, see if I'm crazy. This song is awful too, by the way. Just want to say. Oh, this is worse. Okay, I did not cook there. That's my apologies. You know, sometimes I gotta hear these things. I kind of hear them in my head. I gotta hear them physically. That one did not work. I apologize. Now that I'm re-listening, okay, the vibe, it's there. It's there. I'm not insane. Both don't sound very good. Oh, the hi-hat.
And I can't sleep, but my eyes both shut.
This is the chorus?
Woke up sad in a
I thought this was a throwaway. Did they forget to censor the ad-lib? That's a small D. I don't care. Okay, say whatever you want. But that's goofy. They've censored everything else.
Surviving and shit and stay alive.
Dude, the beat has barely changed. Okay, sometimes on songs that's a good thing. When you're listening to ambient stuff, when you're listening to IDM stuff, that's IDM less, but you know, that's fine. Okay, classical stuff, sometimes you have those longer passages where nothing really happens. Even like post-rock. This genre, sad boy, okay, you gotta change it up a little bit. They added hi-hat for about 10 seconds earlier in the song, and it was at least listenable if I shut my brain off, but now it is boring again. I want to know, please comment below if you are a fan of this album. There were about 700,000 people that watched part 1 of my video, and I only ever saw one comment that liked Tones and I. And I know some Tones and I fans in real life, but who is listening to this album? Even if you're an MGK fan, even if you're a Trippie Redd fan, are you listening to the song and really vibing with it? I want to know. And if you are, please tell me why. I'd love to have a conversation. Sheesh, bro. Please just do something in the song. Have something happen. You teased me with a little bit of 10-second hi-hat, and then nothing happened in the whole song. They repeated, I guess that was the chorus. It repeated twice. I think there was a verse and 2 choruses, and that was the whole song, and it was 3 minutes long. This is the EP's it's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's impossible to listen to. This is so bad. One of the worst albums I've ever heard, and we still got 4 songs, so let's see what's up. Hiding in the hills. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should hide in the hills and stop trying to be a music YouTuber, because I keep listening to bad songs because that's what people watch, and it's a disaster for me. It truly is. It'll be the end of my life. I'll be listening to bad songs. I will go insane. They'll put me in a ward. Okay, maybe I should hide in the hills with MGK and Trippie Redd, and maybe help them with some ad libs. Help them write, ghostwrite. I'm fine with ghostwriting, because I did come up with that line earlier. So who knows?
Not where I belong. I don't have no friends in this motherfucking room.
So what rhymed? I'm looking ahead. I don't see, kind of a different rhyme scheme where maybe you rhyme lines 2 and 4, 1 and 3, or maybe you rhyme, I don't know, get super experimental, do like 1 and 4. I think he's just saying words and hoping they sound good. which they did not sound good.
It's been a loner, never had no one else. I like sipping even though it's bad for my...
Please stop coming in at the same time. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson? Old man, pressure. Oh, there's two types of Spotify bios. Okay. Either one, it's this cringe nonsense. Sometimes it's fine. Okay. You know, I'll give like Underscores and Eden, who are like two of my favorite artists. I'll give them a pass. You know, sometimes just an assortment of cool sounding words for some reason. And sometimes it's like, let me see if I can find one. Travis Barker. Travis Barker has to have one of these. Travis Barker is literally the best drummer to ever live and will ever live. He's the GOAT of all time. Look how many bands he was in, and look how many records he's made, and look how many popular artists he's worked with. All of these artists are really good, by the way. And yeah, this is the best artist that's ever lived. Those are the two types of Spotify bios. And you can usually tell, like, I'm looking at Youngblood. Youngblood probably has one of the cringy short ones. No, he doesn't. He has Dangerously Sexy. I'm not reading that. I'm done. I'm done reading whatever that was. Sheesh. All right.
Fucking lonely since I lost the old me.
Cause he died. He effing died. Wow. Oh, it's so deep. This should be genre deep facts.
I don't have no friends in this motherfucking room. When does all this end? Like Jesus, save me.
That's what I've been saying the whole time. Save me. I don't want to listen to this anymore. Just smite me. Kill me right where I sit. Just end my life. I don't want to listen to this anymore. It's not worth the money I'm going to make on this video. It really isn't. This chorus is... Why is it back? Yeah. Ooh, boy. What another good song. They're all so good. Is there any... You know, I gave them credit after the first 4 songs that a lot of them sounded completely different. Now it's bleeding together. These sounded the same to me. I can't remember why this song was worse or better than this song. Apparently it has more streams, so the fans liked this more than Half Dead. Don't know why. All of them after track 1 to me have been equally terrible. Maybe track 2 was worse because it, you know, sampled one of my favorite songs and sucked. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't make friends no more. I don't take Xans no more.
Who produced this song? Who did it? Who produced this song? I have to look this up. That's one of the worst starts to a beat I have heard in my whole life. No More by MGK. No offense to these guys, okay? They're chasing a bag. They probably got a fat bag working for these two artists. But let's go back into the studio. Let's take an extra work day and just make this sound listenable for like a second. It's difficult to describe how awful the start of this beat was.
I don't make friends no more. I don't take Xans no more. I don't do trends no more. I'm not like them no more. I don't look.
Is he saying he doesn't do trends anymore because he stopped doing pop punk after the trend died? Is that what I'm supposed to gather? Or should I be more charitable? What does this line mean? I don't think he was thinking what the lines meant at this point, but I'm still curious. I still want to know.
I hate that I grew up sad as a kid. Then I grew up and got sadder again. I hate that I couldn't say what I meant. I hate.
Oh no, I just read ahead. You can be Cain, I'll be Abel again. Dude, it's the same effect. I talked about this in I think it was my Hive Mind Worst Songs Part 1. I listened to Tom McDonald, White Boy, I think. I feel like a lot of these artists that make bad music and people call the music bad think they, as a person, are being antagonized. And so all of a sudden, oh, poor old me. You know, I wish I wish that I didn't view everything. I wish I wasn't so sad. I wish everything wasn't so negative. You know, I was sad as a kid and now I'm sad now and nothing's changed. I wish I wasn't sad. Like, comparing Cain and Abel, obviously, I don't think MGK is this villain he, like, makes himself out to be. I really don't. I think he just makes music that a lot of people don't like. And so they say his music is bad. Obviously, MGK has done some dubious things, okay? There's like the underage girl tweet, which was like a disaster, but I don't hate MGK. I just don't like his music. And so, I don't know. This comes off as so victim mentality. It's hard to take seriously.
No more. Don't give a fuck no more.
We haven't had a really funny bad line in a while. And so I've been really bored. These songs, okay, they've all been around 2.5. Some of them reach the 3-minute mark, and those are usually the ones with a little more song structure. But these songs have just been 2 choruses and a mid-verse. And the choruses are boring. And so it's just 2 minutes gone by. It's over. It's bad. It was bad and it's done. Again, I mean, the chorus was boring and it played twice. I have nothing else to say about the song than I already said. There's no more feedback I could give. It's just as bad as all these other ones because it's, you know, it's a slugfest. It's terrible.
Where do I go from here? Who do I know?
808s, bro.
I'm my own enemy. I reject
Why?
the fact that I'm worse and stole all my energy.
I was fine with how mid the song sounded before. We didn't need to add percussion and make it mid because now my brain has been activated. You know, I was able to turn off my brain when nothing was happening. But now I'm invested and I'm realizing how boring the song is. That song almost worked. And I think this was close to being a 5 out of 10. But unfortunately, nothing really happened. And then the percussion came in and MGK kind of came in over Trippie Redd, who I think Trippie Redd kind of worked with that kind of guitar-led instrumental. Unfortunately, the song was too long. Did not need to be 3 minutes. Make it like the length of Suddenly. And cut out MGK's part and just make it, you know, a little guitar ballad. And it'd be a fine song. But yeah, it was boring and the percussion kind of ruined the slight vibe it was trying to go for.
Obviously, I cry.
So dumb.
I ruined my wedding. Now I wish I had a rope so I could still tie the knot.
Ew. Terrible line. Oh yeah, tie the knot, rope. Suicide. I gotta write about suicide. Oh my gosh, it's so lazy. Like, I prefer this because I feel like MGK thinks he's delivering something of value when he's writing about this. On this like 4-track run, nothing happened. Like, they were functionally worthless, not only to the album experience, but as songs themselves. That line is some cheese. What's gonna happen for the rest of the song? The lyrics are almost gone. And the song, there's nothing more to add. I'm free. It's over. The album's done. It took me, this is a 30-minute album. This recording is an hour 20. I had so much to say about something that really didn't have anything notable about it. I think the first song was by far the best, and it was the best just due to it being kind of boring. Once you reach these like first 3 tracks that were just terrible sounding, like they sounded really bad. And there was another song, shoot, was it No More? One of them had one of the worst instrumentals I've ever heard. But like at least from a big name producers, like big name artist, that album was nothing. It truly, at least with the pop punk stuff that MGK was doing, he was providing something, even if it was annoying, even if it wasn't very substantial. didn't have a lot of substance. At least you had some guitars and drums. If you wanted to turn your brain off, you're like, I like the guitars and drums. It's fun. This didn't have anything. I made an album of the year account, if in case you're new here, where I rate stuff. I don't rate stuff I don't finish, like I haven't finished. And so I'm going to sort by my lowest ratings. So how bad was this album? It was for sure worse than Vultures. It was worse than Digital Drug Lord. At least Digital Drug Lord, you know, there were some songs where Black Bear like tried to sing. Skrillex, this had like 2 good songs, so it's better than that. It's this territory. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I liked it more than the Kid Cudi. If I had to choose, if people were like, you can make $1,000 listening to either one of these albums again, the Kid Cudi or the MGK, just from length alone, I could listen to the MGK album 3 times before finishing this album. Because of that, okay, I'm choosing the MGK album. If the MGK album was as long as the Kid Cudi album, my answer might be different. I can't even lie. So I think it's better than the Kid Cudi one. I think I have my score. I'm gonna give this a 21 out of 100. I think it's better than Welcome to the Madhouse and Speed and Bullet to Heaven, but I do not think it's, and you know what, I do think it's better than Father of All. Just slight. No, I don't. It's worse than Father of All. Okay, Father of All, if you want, it was horrible. It was an awful experience. But at least that one, if you didn't listen to the lyrics, you could be like, oh yeah, they're just copying old classic rock songs. But this was nothing. This EP gave me nothing. It was so bad. Oh my gosh. So what, is that a 1 out of 10? Yeah, a 19 out of, that's a 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 album. It was so bad. People were not lying when they were describing how bad this thing was. Truly, this is the worst thing I've heard this year, for sure. I have 3 more records to listen to in this video. Who knows when I'll get to them. But I'm hoping this is the worst of them. Because if it's not, we're looking at overall a worse video, like music-wise, than part 1.
You're just as guilty of taking all of this too seriously as the haters. So let's learn a lesson in controversy in this review. I'm feeling a light 0 on I'm Gay.
This album was requested a ton on my last Fantano video. People saying, why didn't you react to this? Fantano gave it a light 0. Wouldn't that be the lowest 0 possible? It takes a little bit of lore to know that the light 0 was not an official score. He talks about in the video it being a lesson in controversy, saying to just have fun with the album instead of just listen and want a review and a real score. And he also said in an interview with Porter Robinson that it was more of a lighthearted joke, giving it a 0. It's also not listed on his website of official 0 out of 10 scores. So that is why I did not react to it in the original Fantano video. But so many people have requested me to listen to this album, I'm just going to listen to it now. I know next to nothing about this album. I've listened to maybe 2 Lil B songs. I think he did a Porter Robinson freestyle.
I know Porter Robinson, I'm Lil B. I got a lot of bitches, they don't know me.
And he did Swag Like Ohio.
Down in Ohio, swag like Ohio.
Which, you know, as someone from Ohio, I had to listen to that banger. And I have heard I'm God because, you know, of the Clams Casino, Imogen Heap kind of connection. So other than that, I have not heard like any Lil B. I don't know what to expect. Is this album going to be a joke? Is it going to be hilarious? Is it going to be serious, next level hip hop? I'm just excited to see. So yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm open-minded to get into this. And, you know, I hope I enjoy it. That'd be fantastic. As always, whatever line my cursor is to the left of, that is the line that is currently being set. So just a little viewer's guide for you.
Think twice, I'm nicer than grandma with a cup of iced tea. You see me, I got ice like ice. Ain't about what you ain't got. Third world countries ain't even got sidewalks.
True.
You see even more. I fight for the even draw.
Okay, wait, guys. I have a serious question. What is the better prison intro song? Is it Trapped in Prison off of I'm Gay by Lil B? Or is it Prison Song by System of a Down? Okay, who knows? You know, there's still runtime in this song. So far, okay, all jokes aside, I don't mind this song at all. It's just kind of laid back hip hop. He hasn't said anything egregious. It sounded nice. Like I don't have any issues with this song yet. I think it's pretty decent.
That you stay base, you feel me?
Stay based. That was good. I had no issues with that song whatsoever. Yeah, that was pretty good. I genuinely, I didn't have any problems with the sound of the song. It wasn't like any of the other zeros where, well, no, I liked the Big Days intro track, but it sounded nice, okay? And a lot of the bars were like, there weren't any bad bars. You know, most of the time I'm waiting for someone to say something outrageous. That's just kind of a lot of modern hip hop. I know this isn't quite modern, it's like 2011, but there were a couple pretty good lines. Like, notably, I thought this liver line, pretty good, right? Like, it's very subtle, it's very laid back, but it's an enjoyable track. I think the message of the song, from what I could understand, was pretty respectable too. Nothing too offensive about it. So yeah, it was a good start.
Lil B, one day to live, cause we living in the moment. The past change, step back, I nod my chains.
Okay, we're swapping to Genius because the people on Spotify or Music's Match clearly don't know what he's saying. All right.
But I ain't gonna be another slave to the race. And I got
holy
friends
cow
around the world. Open up the thunder, eternal slumber.
That song was so good. Wait, what? Here's what I'll say so far about my impressions on this thing. 2 tracks in. I think it's kind of cool. These have almost the same amount of streams when I'm listening to this. I definitely liked that song more than the first one. I thought a lot of the bars were more focused on a particular topic. I will say, I thought this album was going to be kind of fun and goofy. Like, just reading the title when it came out, I figured, you know, it's just going to be Lil B messing around, usually having fun. Like, I've seen him on Twitter. But this song was pretty serious. The last one was pretty serious. Like, the songs feel like they're going for this more progressive direction, kind of showing a very niche issue in the world and kind of focusing in on that and why, you know, Lil B thinks it's an issue. And I think it's pretty cool. Samples Slow Dive's Catch the Breeze. Okay, I haven't listened to Slow Dive yet, so I've not. I did not catch that sample. That was genius. But yeah, that song was good. Okay, I think it was slightly better than the first one. Again, it was shorter, more concise, more focused. But it sounded good. The bars were good. I still have no complaints, okay? I might sound like a broken record. So I'm hoping for, you know, there seem to be a couple hits on this thing. So we'll see if my opinion shifts over time. Ooh, good beat.
Always keep a distance.
Dude, I love this beat. Oh.
Let's go.
Okay, this is the first time I think in the album we've split from a verse. So far, it's almost just felt like, I don't want to say poetry, but it kind of feels like that. It's just Lil B picks a topic, raps about it over whatever beat, whatever sample. I actually don't know if this samples a song. I feel like it has to. It sounds like it's kind of soul chopped. But yeah, I like this song. This is probably my favorite so far, just based on sound alone. This beat is fire. Kind of sounds like something the Avalanches would make. That song. Sorry that I don't have too much commentary. Not to discredit his writing. There's just not a lot for me to comment on. It's well performed. It's well produced, especially for 2011. There's some good sample flips in here. And overall, it's very focused, which I did not expect Lil B to be like, knowing kind of his reputation and some of the stuff he's made. Man, this is good so far. That was the most interesting in terms of the sound. I think it was the least interesting in terms of writing. It was less focused than the first two. Yeah, this one was a little more almost braggadocious, talking about, how he's spitting game and he's, always been around, always doing his thing, even when his bank account was zero. That's my interpretation. But yeah, it's still a good song. It's my favorite sonically so far.
Making history.
Oh.
Yeah.
Producers Clams Casino.
A long time. Self-fit, I'm on and I'm famous. And I deal with the haters.
Yeah.
Nobody gon' take the people die for a piece of paper. It's
So true.
I gotta really go, this my chance.
Really good
History,
production.
man.
That was pretty good. Especially, the Clams Casino production. It was nice and clean. It had that nice little stutter at certain parts. I mean, it sounded good. And I will also say, I could understand someone not enjoying this song as much. The writing is a little bit cheesy, a bit over the top, talking about what he had to go through to make it. But as someone who is trying to make it, being a YouTuber, I related to a lot of the song, and I thought, it was kind of cute, kind of saying like, this is what I had to go through to get here. Now that I'm here, how do people act differently? I thought the writing was pretty good. I enjoyed it. You compare this, people were confused that I didn't react to this, along with I'm sorry, Ken Carson fans, X, Compare the writing on X to this, and please tell me they are anywhere near the same level, They're just not. The writing on here is significantly better. I could understand someone saying, yeah, well, I listened to Ken Carson because the production and the vibe of the songs, it's more energetic, it's more energetic, it's more fun to listen to. But in terms of writing and in terms of delivery, this album is far better. It just is so far.
Multiply the truth, it's all facts. You can deny, words can kill. Why they call this album that and how the fuck he feel.
That song, also pretty solid. There's not, other than track 3, which was one of the least streamed so far, there haven't been a lot of complete standouts on this thing yet. So it probably won't get the highest score from me, but there's not been anything too bad about it yet either. It's been pretty solid the whole time. This song was another just chill one. He did mention at the end, he did hint at, why'd he call this album I'm Gay? And he's like, who cares why I called it that? Just listen to music, which, I can respect. I'm the type of person, admittedly, I am the type to look at album covers and look at branding, whether it be music videos, album titles, and that helps influence my decision sometimes of whether I check something out. Like if I saw this album cover, not just, ignoring the title, the artwork is certainly different. It's different from what would usually draw my eye and make me click on it. And so it's cool of him to be like, yo, listen, I know this is going to be your first impression of this, but listen to the music. And so far the music's been pretty solid. I haven't had many problems with it at all. It's becoming increasingly obvious that the Fantano 0 out of 10 score was a joke. I just don't necessarily know why it's a joke. It seems like Lil B is being pretty genuine with a lot of his songwriting on this thing. So I'm not quite sure what, prompted the 0 out of 10 score from Fantano. Barack Obama's on this one? This is about to be a heater. Ooh, I've heard this instrumental. I don't want to cheat. I'm looking at my second monitor, or I'll look down. I want to say it's from a video game or an anime. I'm going to cheat. From Spirited Away. Yeah, okay. Dang it, I should have known. That's cool. Barack Obama over Spirited Away. Only Lil B could deliver this. This song is... I forgot how... Oh, okay. I might need to add this song to my playlist. That is some heat. Oh my gosh, what a cool sample flip. I did not expect that.
Like seeing water in the desert. The song is depressing, but it's uplifted.
Nice.
Holding on to my spirit. This is Lil B, my audio letter. We gon' live forever.
That was really good. Wow, amazing. Great song. First of all, obviously, I'm gonna comment on the instrumental. The sample flip was really good. It has this nice nostalgic feel because it is from Spirited Away, which, an older anime movie. Kind of has this childlike kind of bliss to it. Like, that original song is just really good. Then, okay, Lil B's just kind of rapping. He's saying how a lot of what's shown up in this album is kind of a facade, saying like, why does this have to be this come up story? Why can't it just be I was making music and ended up here? Because he said, I came from the top, hit the bottom. I never came from the bottom. That's just a facade. At least I'm assuming that's what this is going to say. So I didn't know any of that. That's how I interpreted that line. Also, this song is depressing, but it's uplifting. I'm so grateful when you hear it. It's nice. It's positive. It makes you happy to listen to it, which compared to a lot of the music I have to listen to make money on this channel, I'm always happy to listen to some uplifting, happy music when it's good. So, the Barack Obama sample at the beginning was notable. It's funny. Yeah, I don't know. This is probably my favorite so far. I know it's the biggest hit, but I really liked that one. And I'm starting to see the appeal of Lil B, which, at least from this album, maybe he's different on other stuff. He's just trying to put out a good message and have people be positive. And I can fully respect that. Okay. I try my best to do that myself. If you see how I interact on social media, I try not to attack people. And it kind of sucks. My biggest YouTube video is so negative toward a lot of the music I'm listening to. Because at the end of the day, I love music and I want to, share my experiences with people. That's why, I make videos. So, yeah, that was a really, really awesome song.
Rise, we all got the same drop. 2011, we all in the...
This is a sample flip too. What is this? I'm not gonna get this. Yukiko Okada! Oh my gosh! No way! I had a bit of a tiny Yukiko Okada phase when I was really into Kanye and I learned about the sample on Never See Me Again. Oh, that's cool! Bro, Lil B is so based.
No bars, party and no party. People still rocking the champagne.
Is that a Party Rock reference? When did Party Rock come out? 2012. So probably not. Goon Rock? What? Okay. It was a different time in 2012.
There's clones in the hood, everybody is a soldier. Everybody with this shit, yeah.
Back when I was doing my original 0 out of 10 video, one thing I struggled with was favorite tracks and a least favorite track. And the reason I didn't do it for the 0 out of 10 video was because there were so many bad songs that I could not pick only one that was a standout that was worse than the other ones because they were almost all equally bad. This is an album that so far, what's the standout bad track? That song was good. Obviously, I liked the Yukiko Okada sample. It's another just blissful, kind of hopeful song that Lil B wrote. I don't have any issues with this album so far. I really don't. I was a little worried with the title of the album being I'm Gay. It might have been a little offensive for 2011. And then I forgot Lil B's the based god. Of course it's not going to be homophobic. I really don't know what to say. Like, this is my issue reacting to good hip hop. If there aren't standout bars, and if there isn't like something terrible or something really great, like if it's just consistently good, I don't really know what to say. I feel like the song just speaks for itself. Like that song, there's not much for me to analyze. I think it's just it was a hopeful, cheerful, fun little song. Oh, next one might not be too fun. I Hate Myself. Come on, chin up, Lil B. It's gonna be okay, man.
Transaction, I'm already classified, no second chance. Gotta go to the hood, all I see is divided depression, schizophrenics. You get a second chance when you're freer in heaven. I promise if you really.
Dang, this one is much darker.
For real, man. It's been in my heart for a long.
It's still hopeful. It's still uplifting, but it's covering a lot more daily struggles of different people. Like it's talking about, you know, if you're an innocent in prison, you'll get another chance, or young girls kind of needing approval from, you know, the wrong type of men, or even a little bit of black struggle stuff as well. It's a much darker song, but again, there's always that optimism in that writing, other than, you know, there is the I hate myself at the end of every verse, which I hope isn't true. I hope it's for the sake of the song, because Lil B is pretty dope so far. It's a bit of a tone shift is all I'm pointing out. I think this song's pretty good so far.
I'm not ready to die. I love myself.
There we go.
Break that mental.
Nice.
Free now, man.
Okay, I really want to know if Lil B is the one who picks these samples, or if, you know, it's just whichever producer he picks, because there's something very cohesive about these samples that are picked. Obviously, it was the two before, right? The Wilderness and Gonna Be Okay. Yeah, those both had a Japanese sample, and this one was more of like a 2009 pop track. But the nostalgic kind of uplifting, optimistic, hopeful feeling was still present. Like it's present across all these songs. And, you know, I'm glad I saw I Hate Myself, and the first half of the track was definitely much darker, much lower in terms of confidence, but Lil B found that in the second half. And so, you know, it didn't betray the vision of this album. It's still just a nice, positive, uplifting, fun listen. I might need to watch that Fantano review, see why he said, you know, learn a lesson in controversy, give it a 0. Maybe there's some sort of inside joke. Maybe there was a beef him and Lil B had or something. I genuinely, I do not understand the argument behind giving this one a 0.
$20,000 make a bench press. I'ma do push-ups, never fold over. Autopilot, I fell asleep driving. Shady Beatty born on another island. It's legend status, went platinum on the internet, straight cash. All the money in the world.
I don't think we've gotten Lil B singing yet. That one was good. I think, I'm gonna be honest, I think that was my least favorite so far. It's kind of just focused on chasing the bag, getting some money, you know, being able to live comfortably. It says up here, like, talking about Lil Wayne, maybe Lil B striving to get to that level. He did mention Lil Wayne near the beginning, and I can respect a bag chase, of course, but in terms of the optimism and attention to the listener up until this point, this one feels a little more disconnected, in my opinion. So it's my least favorite. I still thought it was a good song. I still enjoyed listening to it. It is definitely a standout as, like, probably not my favorite.
Day, step by step, day by day. Lil B. Keep my squad coast like we handling that.
This beat is fire. If it is Lil B picking these samples, this dude's music taste is immaculate. Oh my gosh. All the songs he's picked so far have been super good. I will need to add this original sample to my playlist because I think it's definitely holding this beat together, but the beat itself, even outside of the sample, like the percussion itself is really good. It's just, it's a great vibe. This is probably my favorite beat on the album so far. This is the only song. Okay, we're on track 10 of a 12-track album. This is the first song that has like a sample hook. All the other ones either didn't have a hook at all, or it was like a light refrain Lil B did. I prefer this song structure. I'm gonna just be completely honest. I think it sounds better. It kind of eases you into the next verse. It's a nice little like buffer from each verse. And yeah, I think not only is it a good buffer between the verses, it makes you appreciate the verses more. It sounds really good. This is my favorite song so far.
My name Lil B, I love y'all for life. Let's get
amazing song. Wow. All right, let's do a hypothetical real quick. We're just gonna do a little test. First 10 tracks of this album, okay? Or I think first 9. We'll pretend those first 9 are these songs. And then that song was that song. Automatically makes this album not a 0 in my mind. That song was genuinely amazing. The song structure was really refreshing, especially in the context of the track list. I thought the performance was good. I honestly liked how it'd be the sample and Lil B would kind of just speak under it. It had a nice vibe to it. Still has that optimism. Yeah, this song was amazing.
still waiting on healthcare, praying no welfare. Old man thinking if you close-minded thuggin', that's nomad hustle.
Facts.
No house, no hands, still waiting.
Yet another great song. Bro, I'm so sorry. If you wanted like really good commentary on each of these tracks, what they're written about, I'm just bad at that. I don't know. All I can do is keep bringing you back to what I think the vibe, the energy, and the objective of this album is, which is just like a pick-me-up, optimistic, just fun listen. Even when he covers more of those tougher topics, which I think was less so on this song. I thought this line was kind of cool. Kind of just being like, yo, we should appreciate everyone. Don't be hateful to... Oh, this one as well. People love to hate, but don't show no love. And that's old man thinking. If you're closed-minded thugging, that's no man's hustle. Yeah, again, it's like, why are you hating on new people that are successful? People are always going to find new ways to find success, and you should always cheer on those people and root for people to, you know, make the world a better place. Just show more positivity. Yeah, this thing's been pretty spotless so far. I cannot lie. It's a pretty good album. Obviously, there haven't been a ton of individual standouts. There are definitely some, but it's just really solid. I like it a lot.
Too blessed to have a second chance. Lil B, I never should have been in jail. To blind myself, yeah. Live life. Give it up one time for the world. Everybody in the building, let's go.
I can understand why that's the least streamed. I'm gonna just be honest. As an album closer, it's not amazing. It almost just felt like, you know, shout out to my fans. And shout out to my fans lasted 4 minutes, which I don't think is entirely necessary. I thought the song was all right in the first half. It just dragged on way too long. The Clams Casino production, it's a little bland, a little static. We didn't really go a lot of places. You know what? This is kind of what it felt like listening to that song.
Congratulations! 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 Congratulations.
You know, like, yeah, it just it kind of felt like, you know, thank you everyone for being my fans for 4 minutes, which, you know, it's not my favorite way to close such a concise and hopeful album. It's just like, you know, I'm appreciative. It's cool that he made that. It's just not what I was hoping for the closing track. All right, this is editor Quirkay tapping in real quick because I already know there's going to be comments about this. A lot of my complaints about this song could, in theory, be applied to Porter Robinson's new album, Smile, which I have highly acclaimed and said is one of my favorite albums of the year. So I want to mention, yes, both tracks are dedicated to the fans and happen to be on really optimistic, uplifting records. Both of them happen to be 4 minutes long. And Porter has said in the past that he's highly influenced by Lil B. So it's very likely that this decision for it to be the album closer, just like Lil B's song, was intentional. I just wanted to mention that I think Porter executed on the idea better. The song is more dynamic, and the performance, I think, makes up for the concept. Even then, if you look back at my reaction video for Smile, I wasn't as crazy about Everything to Me the first time I listened to it. It's grown on me a lot now, but even then, that sentiment of it just being a track dedicated to the fans, when the rest of the album has been so optimistic and uplifting, kind of took away from it for me. So I just wanted to mention that before people start calling me a hypocrite. I don't know if anyone's going to do that, but I just wanted to step in for a second. I'm so glad you guys have been enjoying the video. Keep watching. I appreciate it. All right. Love you guys. So where am I thinking this is going to land? Okay. It seems like most people are pretty mixed on his music, and then I'm Gay. People are like, this is a standout. You know, a 74 doesn't sound too bad. I was going to go like 73 probably. I thought it was a really solid album. It was pretty fun to listen to. Lyrics just really solid. Yeah, it was just a super concise, super tight, well-written album with a couple of really good sample flips. It just kind of lacked a lot of that excitement that could maybe elevate it to, you know, that next level. There were a couple songs that it definitely approached that, which landed it in the upper group of my scoring. But ultimately, this isn't an album I'm going to be like, you absolutely have to hear this. It's just a good album. I think it's pretty good. Now, that's where you got to think, all right, Micah, or Quirkay, you can call me whatever you want. He gave this a 73 out of 100, and Fantano gave it a 0 out of 100. Now, I got to wonder, what on earth happened there? Obviously, it wasn't a completely sincere score, but it's a good album. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know. I enjoyed my time listening to that. I encourage you to listen to this if you want something to kind of just lift your spirits if you're having a bad day or something. Overall, good album. I'm glad I got a break after listening to that awful MGK album. Okay. That was significantly better. Like, by a mile. This was a mile better than the MGK and Trippie Redd album. So, yep. Next is Planningtorock, which I've only heard awful things, but that one Fantano gave a 10 out of 10 and a 0 out of 10. So I'm excited to see which one is closer to reality.
However, in the context of Planningtorock's music, all of these elements add up in the worst of ways. I'm feeling a 0 on this record. Yep, a 0.
So today, I'm listening to All Love's Legal by Planningtorock. Came out in 2014. And this was an album that I got a lot of comments about, saying, you know, I think you actually missed out on this one. This one might have actually been a serious 0 out of 10. There's just a couple issues with that idea. On the Needle Drop website, which listed all the official zeros, it wasn't here. And I know this is outdated because clearly the MGK album isn't here, but at the time this list was made, that album had been reviewed a 0 and was not listed. Not only that, but Fantano also released the review on April Fool's Day, along with a review where he said the album was a 10 out of 10. So was the 10 serious? Was the 0 serious? I had no way of knowing, so I didn't review that one. I just reviewed the 5 in that original part 1 video. But, you know, enough people have requested it and told me that the album is that awful, that horrible, that, you know what, let's check it out. Let's see what the big deal is. Let's see why people hate this album so much. And let's see if I agree. Because who knows? I might end up liking it. Let's give it a go. Let's start with Welcome. Oh, I will say as well, I'm not only from the album cover, like the theming of the album, but also, you know, this first track being called Welcome. I'm getting welcomed to the Madhouse flashbacks a little bit. You know, that's something people have accused me of. They're like, you're going into albums wanting to hate them. I know actually nothing about this album, okay? I know literally nothing. So all I know is that Fantano on April Fool's gave it a 0 out of 10. So I'm excited to see what the deal is. Lyrics are simple. In fact, I'm just going to take them off the screen. Okay. Okay, right away, this is not the vocal style I was really expecting. It's different for sure. It's not necessarily bad. Probably not my thing, at least from what I've heard so far. Yeah, this song seems simple. I don't think it's awful. I am a little concerned with this fall in love with whoever you want to. I get the concept. I can appreciate the sentiment. But I think there's definitely some very clear boundaries that should be made. So I'm curious to see if those boundaries are made on this album. What's there to say? That song was very simple. It was just the like main lyrics. It kind of had this kind of bubblegummy, but also kind of dreamy production aesthetic. And I enjoy that occasionally, but felt a little empty, a little hollow on this song. It was, I'll just come out and say it was boring. It was a boring song. I didn't think it was bad necessarily, but there's no universe I'm going out of my way to listen to it. But I'm going to assume this is just kind of like an intro interlude kind of track for the album. And it's not really a real song. Judging by the song lengths, there's probably going to be some songs later that are similar to this one. Yeah, so far, I'm indifferent. It was fine, I guess. I don't know if I've ever seen a Spotify lyrics page where the start of words are lowercased. If someone knows of another example, let me know. I don't think I've ever seen this before. That's kind of intriguing to me. Okay. Got a little bass. Production's all right. I don't hate it. You know, this has more of like a complete song structure. And so as a result, the song is more enjoyable. Lyrics are insanely simple. And I am curious when all love's legal. What I was getting at before was, is this talking about love with children? And like, where is that line drawn? Because I'm very much against, you know, pedophilia, obviously. So I'll probably do a bit of research after this song because I am curious if that line is distinct. Otherwise, I don't really care. Song seems fine. Lyrics are simple. Production, it's vibey. It kind of has that. Is this 2014? Yeah, it's 2014 like pop production. So yeah, I don't mind it. It's all right. Okay, I'm gonna apologize right away. If the lyrics stay this simple, it will be almost impossible for me to add my individual thoughts on the song's lyrical content. Yeah, it's very repetitive. It's very simple. And, you know, as of right now, I don't mind it. Seems to be more production focused with more of a message in mind. But if it's this repetitive for 40 minutes, I'm going to lose it a little bit. I will just say that right now. Yeah, that song was also just okay. I didn't mind it. It was fine. I think the lyrical content, I almost think this intro was worthless. Just cut this out. Unless that was meant to be a serious song, in which case it's like, you could also cut it out. It wasn't great. This song was basically this song if it was a real track. And it was okay. I wouldn't give this a 0 so far. I wouldn't give it a 10 so far. It's very mid. Okay. And maybe that'll change with more tracks. Maybe the lyrical content will go in a new direction. The production was already very different from this kind of bubblegum dream-like production. It went more into kind of that 2014's synthy production. And I kind of hope it stays closer to that lane. Maybe it can combine the two later in some tracks, but yeah, so far I think it's okay. It's a mid album. Looks like we forgot the B at Ben. It happens to all of us, okay? What the f is this production? What? What? What is happening? Yo, we fell behind. We're here, guys. The lyrics are over. Are we gonna restart? Or did we just fall behind? Also, the production took such a nosedive. What happened with this song? It feels like, you know, let's bring over a 4-year-old and let's have him just hit random keys on the keyboard and let's see if it sounds good. It doesn't sound good. I still think the lyrics seem fine. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but I don't necessarily have a problem with anything. Yeah, it's boring, and now it's like just mildly amusing at how the production has kind of evolved. This song's never gonna end, bro. Okay, I do have my thoughts on this one. Pretty full-length track. Second most popular on the album. Also gonna fall into that mid-fine category. Probably slightly worse. I think most of the message of the song's okay. I don't really care to get political. You know, I'm about being entertaining and giving my opinions on how good the music is, how good the anime is when I make anime content. I don't necessarily care about political stuff. I do, as someone who's just a straight guy, I feel like the goal of this music, from what I can tell, is trying to be accepting of everyone, which I think is a good thing. I think we should try to love everybody. I almost feel like some of the talk about gender is on this song in particular, is kind of taking away from some people. Like, some people transition and they find, you know, happiness within their new gender. I feel like this is kind of taking away from some of those people. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I'm a straight guy. Who cares what I think? That's just something I noticed in the lyrics. I think the lyrics are pretty fine. This song had some interesting production choices and was also just as boring as the rest of the album. I'm thinking, like, if someone played this song in the car, I'd be like, why? Why are we playing this song in the car? But at the same time, if someone played the MGK Trippie Redd album, any of the songs from that, I'd be like, you know, somebody should T-bone us and maybe you get hit with an airbag and that, you know, fixes your taste. I don't know. Like, this is better than that, at least. I'm enjoying this album more, even if it is really boring. It's definitely, like, I wouldn't give it a 5. It's, like, around that territory. Let's go to Answerland. Maybe. Oh, no lyrics. I'll pull these up. Guys, I'm actually not gonna pull up the lyrics. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back here. We're just gonna stick to the Spotify web or client. We're just gonna stay here. I think you'll be able to understand the lyrics. Oh yeah, it's Truck Month? It's LGBTQ Truck Month. There we go. When's the song start? I know it's only been 40 seconds, but the song's not very long. Oh boy. Why is the style on this one so different? That's one thing I'll give it credit for. I don't know how all the songs are so boring when we're hitting so many different styles. This one was dreamier. It kind of had some dream pop, some bubblegum pop feel, but with no lyrics. This was more like that 2014 synth pop production. This, I don't know what that was. This is like kind of that really bad country pop, country rock type of thing, but very laid back. And the lyrics are just like, it's a land, it's drug month. I don't freaking know what's happening. What is happening to the music? Some would argue that makes the album lack cohesion, that all the songs sound so different. But the lyrical content obviously provides the cohesion you want. I just don't know. Let's just nail a style and let's stick to the style. That'd be amazing. Let's do it. Let's do it. We can do it. All right. I'm sure. Okay. That next track has 3.5 million streams. I'm sure we found some lightning in a bottle, and let's just make the rest of the album sound similar. Like that good quality. I'm assuming it's good. Okay. I have no idea. We'll get to it. What are we doing? What are we doing? These lyrics are abysmal. Not lyrics, sorry. These vocals are abysmal. What are we doing? This song is so long. And I already know, based on, the first 2 minutes of the song being the exact same thing, that we're gonna just stick to this. And that sucks, because this is the worst song by far, so far. That song was, find an adjective. Find an adjective that works. Terrible. It's a terrible song. There was nothing fun about it. The production was so stale and one note, and the lyrics did not exist. There were no lyrics. We just kept saying Answerland and kind of just trying to float, but it just felt awkward, especially after these songs that all had lyrics. This could be cut from the album. In fact, I think it's not the least streamed. That's a problem. That's a problem for me. That song sucked. Very simple lyrics. Production kind of sounds like a commercial. That's just not what they're saying. So let's talk about gender, baby, and then let's talk about you and me. That's what it says, right? You and me, you and me. Oh, we fixed the lyrics here. Interesting. Once again, this song has a completely different vibe from, any of the songs we've heard before. It's almost got a disco feel to it, or at least definitely older pop music, maybe 80s or something. Obviously, lyrics are very, very simple, and it's still not great. Like, I don't think it's awful, but it's not amazing. Bro, if I brought in like a progressive 10-year-old, like a really progressive 10-year-old, they could easily write this song. Like, bro, it's a little too simple, I will say. I always say that if you can convey a message simply, it's usually good. The less kind of melodramatic and kind of over the top you can be, the better. This is too simple. Like, we get it. I think the point has been communicated to the audience. Now let's get something new. Let's get something more exciting. It's just, this song should not be 4.5 minutes long. Especially, I'm looking ahead at the lyrics. It doesn't look like we're going to be going anywhere new. We're not going to be, covering new territory. It's just going to be the same thing. At least we're getting some new vocal delivery. That's okay. We don't have to do that. That song was far too long for what it was. That song was nothing. Let's talk about gender, and then we didn't talk about it. Like, can we talk about it? I'm down. Let's get to it though. We didn't get to it. Bro, the simplicity of the lyrics are like hurting this project. I'm not crazy about the sound of this thing. Obviously, we're covering different areas, which I think is usually a good sign of a project. As long as it kind of collects into a single identity, which I don't think this is really done. And it's also not super exciting or interesting. It's very stale. Yeah, I want something different, you know? Instead, we're getting very repetitive lyrics, very simple instrumentation with a couple really weird production choices along the way. I'm hoping we can get something more interesting in this second half. Oh, okay, this is an instrumental. This is an instrumental. That's why there's no lyrics. I just lost a minute of my life. What was that? So it's kind of funny. Ooh, that was a good one. It's kind of funny that I got a song like that because I was just listening to this. I've almost finished the album. There's definitely some weaker tracks, but this is ambient music done extremely well. It's very simple, but it conveys an emotion without needing any words. And this was like that, but worse. Obviously, it wasn't produced as well as Aphex Twin did with how intricate his production was. Did that add to my album experience? Does that fit thematically? Was that important? No! I just lost a minute of my life for no reason. Because we wanted the album to be 12 tracks, because 12 is the best number ever made. Like, what are we doing? That was so pointless. I'm mad that I had to listen to that. I'm gonna be honest. That's for sure lower in the score. Especially, I'm looking ahead. There's 2 other tracks that are like a minute and a half. Are these going to be instrumental interludes that don't add to the theme or the sound, like the collective sound of the album? I sure hope not. I sure hope that they're somewhat interesting. That was entirely pointless. I got a little too hopeful. I was a little too optimistic. What on earth were those vocals? Okay. What I'll give it some time to cook. Maybe it'll be better, but that was a rough introduction. The bass sounded halfway decent. You know, the drums were a little weird, but come on. We can clutch this up. I know we're not going to do this vocal delivery the whole time, right? Like, let's just stick to normal vocal pitching, or, you know, you can tweak it a little bit, you know, kind of like Gex do. Let's not do what we just did. I'm astonished. This is the worst song on this album, for sure. It has to be. Please be the worst song. I mean, so far, it's not even remotely close. It's by far the worst. But who knows? Maybe a song later down in this track list is going to be worse than this one. I cannot believe what I'm hearing. This should be in the Hive Mind worst songs tier list videos I do. I haven't looked ahead at, you know, the second and third brackets, so I cannot remember if they're there. But dude, this song is one of the worst I've heard in the 0 out of 10 series, like of the albums I've listened to. And I'm about a third way through the song. So let's hope it improves. We gave up on the lyrics. It's like that one Corey Feldman song. I can't believe what I'm hearing. How is this a song? How is this real? Sophie on the track! I don't care what the lyrics say anymore. Like, what is this? Wow. Unbelievably terrible. Like, unfathomably awful. This is the first song I'm going to add to a playlist. My Discord server, which you can join in the description, a couple members of it decided to make a worst songs of all time playlist. and I'm actually going to add it to that playlist because it very much deserves it. That was unbelievable. It was the best way I could describe what I just heard for almost 5 minutes is Sophie if she got so hammered that she could not see and just kind of did whatever she wanted. Yeah, that was unfathomably horrible. Even the people who, not only are the lyrics not time synced, they're incomplete. And I completely understand, because how on earth would you finish writing the lyrics to this song? It's so bad. That is one of the worst songs I've heard in parts 1 or 2. It's up there. It's one of the worst songs I've ever heard. It's for sure bottom 100, maybe bottom 25. I'd have to look. That's what we're here for, okay? I'm sick and tired of these boring songs that I'm like, yeah, that could have been a lot better. Okay? I want songs like that. Pure, unadulterated trash. Complete garbage. So I'm conflicted. Obviously, it's great. I reacted for the video, but song, I did not enjoy listening to the song. That was agony. Is this another interlude, bro? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? If you want my thoughts on that song, scroll back to my thoughts on this song and combine them. What was that? What was that? Like, what? Why? Why did I just listen to that? That's another minute and a half of my life gone. Bro, pretty soon, I'm going to be a grandpa and I'm going to die. And all I'm going to have accomplished with my life is freaking listen to these awful tracks. That's it. Man, that was terrible. What are we doing? I need to think of more adjectives. Terrible is just the one that's like, it knows. Man knows that this album sucks.
I'm walking on my future. Who is walking all over it?
Oh my gosh.
And it's me.
Ooh, just kidding. This is awful. That song was terrible too. I'm using the word again. I don't care. What I'm not looking forward to right now is looking ahead, seeing there's a 7-minute track and another 5-minute track that I'll have to sit through. I'm honestly fine with these interludes. Obviously, the Beyond Binary Binds one was like next level awful, but maybe it'll be slightly better. I don't know. What's really difficult about this album is I feel like it's just gradually getting worse. I think this was a standout, but it's going to be hard. At the beginning, okay, by like track 5, I was thinking, you know, I'll probably give this like a 3 out of 10. Maybe a 4 out of 10 if it's lucky. But I don't hate it as much as people on Album of the Year like do. But now I'm starting to think it's like, I think I like this less than the Green Day Father of All album. I think I like it less than the MGK album as time goes on. That one's tough to say though. Those are about the same level of quality. So I'm hoping we can, you know, kind of step it up near the end so I can definitively say, oh yeah, I like this slightly more than the MGK. Guys, can I skip this one? Can I skip it? I'm being serious. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Can I skip this song? I'm thinking ahead to when I'm sitting in Sony Vegas and I'm editing this video, and I'm sitting there and I'm sitting through these 7 minutes. Am I gonna say anything about this song? Hopefully it sounds awful so I can at least say something. There's nothing to say about these lyrics. That's just the title of the song. Any person with literacy could have written this song. They could just read the title of the song and they've written it. Come on. I'm actually tilted. Even though this horn sounds a little frustrating, I think this is one of the better produced songs on the album so far. I'll give it that much credit. Maybe it'll get worse, but that's my thought right now.
Bubbling
Oh, let's just skip through the yeah, we don't actually need those. We're not even halfway through, bro. Kill me where I stand. Why? End the song! Oh, Skrillex! Why did that just happen in the production? Somebody, explain it to me. Explain it to me. What are we doing, man? Okay. I mean, I tapped out of this song like 3 minutes ago. I don't know how much of it I've included. I've just been doing stupid little dances. I've just been doing stupid little dances because we gave up on, you know, the very highbrow lyrics for whatever's happening right now. And then we got a little pre-drop. Okay. There was like a build-up. Sounded like we might get, you know, Skrillex on the beat. Yo, Skrill, drop it hard. Skrill didn't drop it hard. That was complete nonsense I just heard in my ears. And I got to hear it for another minute and a half. So that's awesome. This is what all pop music should sound like. And the song, please. Do you guys remember? I made a comment probably about a minute into this song. I said something along the lines of, I'll give this one credit. It's one of the best produced I've heard on the album. Disregard what I said. Just completely forget I said it. That was a waste of time. I get that this album is trying to spread a message, and I'm all for, you know, artists, spread your message. People can agree or disagree with it, whatever. This song did nothing. It truly did nothing. I've seen this called a pop album, and I want you to show that song to a random person and have them, like, if you tell them, I'll give you $100 if you can predict the genre, you will keep your money the entire day. There's no way anyone's guessing this is a pop album if you played them that song. It just wouldn't happen. Yeah, I thought the whole pre-drop into nothing was very funny. That was amusing. It wasn't amusing enough, though, to warrant this 7-minute time that I spent on that song. Yeah, I was wrong. At least I'll have some feedback when I edit this, but man, waste.
Let the purple run. Let the purple drip.
Wait, this has lyrics. Never mind. This doesn't have lyrics. Let's just stay in Spotify.
Running through your veins. Let the purple run.
You know what? There's a song that I'm gonna try to put some people onto something real quick. Okay? I'd love to do this real quick. So this vocal delivery is obviously just agony, like, to listen to. But I think there's a song that does this style of vocal delivery pretty well. Oh, it has under 100K streams. This is from the Enon album High Society. It's a very fun pop rock song. It has a very catchy hook. I'll skip to real quick.
This business combination.
Let's pop more fizz. That's a good song. Okay. And that, in its verses, has that kind of weird, uncomfortable kind of vocal delivery that this song tries to do and fails horribly to do. So I recommend this whole album. It's pretty good.
Let the purple run.
It actually sounds so much like it now that I've heard it again.
Let the purple run.
Why is this song happening? Get the hyena. What is this hyena? Like, get this out my ear. Get this. End this song. End the song. Give me the last one, please. Please, 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 please. I have no thoughts on that song. That was completely useless. Okay. We're doing something with the production. I'm not trying to laugh at the lyrics. I'm laughing at the vocal delivery because holy cow, is it shrill? Is it frustrating? I hope it deviates from what just happened in the future minutes of this song.
Get out of the way.
I almost think this song could be decent if you took the instrumental and gave it to someone else. It's somewhat interesting. There's different layers to it, unlike a lot of the other songs on this piece of garbage. But yeah, unfortunately, it went to Planningtorock, who has a very narrow view of, lyrical content. And so it's just very frustrating to listen to. I could picture, one of these more obscure, or not obscure, but more outside of the box pop artists, maybe like a Charlie XCX or a Kesha or something, someone a little more risky with their production could maybe get away with something on this beat, but it's not working for me here. Never mind. What is this? Ooh, we're slowing down more. Oh yeah. Beat switch. Sicko mode, you got competition. I kind of like the production in this second beat. Praise God, it's over. Here are my thoughts on that one. Okay? That album was unbelievably awful. It was not fun to listen to. As you guys saw, okay? There's one song I added to a playlist. It was not a positive playlist, okay? It's the worst songs ever. I will stand on it. I think that was the best song on the album. I think the instrumental presented enough variety, and the lyrical content wasn't so just completely static, but the competition is not that crazy. I do think this album isn't a 0 because not only was that song on it, some of the earlier ones are at least listenable. It's not Welcome to the Madhouse level, in my opinion, where every single song is pretty much just unlistenable. I hate to say it because a lot of people really hate me for this, but I still like this more than Speeding Bullet to Heaven. At the end of the day, this is like almost half the length of Speeding Bullet to Heaven. Okay? So it's not awful enough to where I'm sitting there for 90 minutes and just wanting to just end it all. That being said, I think it's worse than the MGK and Trippie Redd album. If I check out my lowest ratings real quick, that looks about right to me. This was, it's not good, and I did not like it. Pretty much the only redeemable song, if you can call it that, was that last track. And even then, that's me being extremely generous. This song is nothing special. These earlier songs, like the first 3 are nothing special. It was just like, there was at least some attempts at something interesting. If Fantano did go through with it and gave this a 0, like for real, I wouldn't care. I'm just not, gonna go that far. That's my thoughts on that. Next is what people say is the worst album ever made. Angelic to the Core by Corey Feldman. So I hope to see you in the next part.
An album that, quite frankly,
I think will break the records of badness, if there are such things.
Today, I'm going to go through something that I should be paid to do, I think. From the reviews I've seen and the few song snippets I've heard in the past, this thing is going to be a mess. And I'm very excited to hear what this mess is going to sound like. I'm listening to Angelic to the Core by Corey Feldman. So, Angelic to the Core, this album's iconic. It's been named one of the worst albums of all time by many, many people. And it is so bad that, as far as I know, I haven't seen any reasoning for it on social media. It got deleted off streaming services. You can't listen to this album anymore because it's, it got deleted. So, unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to fill this space with another 0 out of 10 because there's no way to listen to the new Corey Feldman. Oh, wait. Someone uploaded the album onto YouTube. So, I'm not free, okay? As much as I would have loved to say, guys, this album got deleted. I can't listen to it. It's so bad that, it got removed from history, it's still here. Now, this YouTube upload, from what I understand, does have a few issues. First of all, it does have a track or two out of order. So I'll try to keep in mind that and look for that. Second issue is the track list isn't linked in the description or anything. So there's not chapters on the video. But, okay, this uploader, Hippie Crack, was kind enough to upload this album for the world to hear, even though it's been deleted by Corey Feldman. If you've never heard of this album, get ready. Okay, I've heard one track from it in my Hive Mind Worst Songs Ever video. I believe it was part 2. I heard the title track for this album, Angelic to the Core, and it was unbelievably awful. I'm excited. I hope that's one of the better songs, and this thing is just utterly atrocious. Without further ado, let's get started. Corey Feldman's Angelic to the Core.
The heavenly gates have opened.
What is happening? Oh. Okay. Okay. I was wondering if he was just doing a kind of weird vocal inflection because it's a skit. Like maybe this is supposed to be a grand voice outside of, himself. But clearly this is just the vocal style. The Ascension Millennium sounds a little dated production-wise. The album's from 2016. I will keep that in mind with the production style and how it's aged and how it sounds. For when, guys, just remember, there's some unreal albums that came out in 2016. This isn't like the dark ages of electronic production, okay? People know what they're doing. Okay, Corey Feldman, a bit of a lyrical miracle, okay? If you got one of those, rhyme scheme YouTube videos, then you're going to be seeing a lot of the same highlights, okay? For example, thrill, chills, nil, kill, okay? Hill. Corey Feldman clearly knows his rhymes. I don't know if this is Rhyme Zone or if he's just insanely talented, but your average Joe isn't coming up with these bars. Oh, the clash. Okay, there's a bit of a clash going on in this chorus. The Ascension Millenniums with the, the spoken lyrics under. Or I don't know if they're spoken. It sounds like they're being sung, but it's hard to really tell because notes aren't really being hit. This is a bit tough to listen to. With some other opening tracks in the past, like I think back to, the Kid Cudi or even the Planningtorock. Like I'm giving them a bit of the benefit of the doubt and then I slowly lose interest. But this one is it's polarizing. It's making a statement right away. And I'm not sure I'm enjoying the vocal performances, which this thing is a very long album. So I'm hoping it grows on me. Dude, what is this noise? Is it a synth? Is it a guitar? It's like it's slowly building. Okay. It's something new in the mix halfway through the chorus, but I do not like it. I want it to go away. Go back to how the chorus was before, which already was not very good. Oh! Why is this song so long? Kill me! Vamp anthem. Where are we in the lyrics? I lost where we are. How is there another verse? And the song! That was unfathomable. That was an unfathomable song. This is the average user score for this album with 1,600 ratings, by the way. So that was only the first song. It's 5.5 minutes. Okay, that was not a short song. Yeah, there wasn't really a second of it I enjoyed. Lyrical content, if you want to try to go there for a saving grace, you're not really going to find it. You had 3 verses that all felt like an eternity. The same chorus that the mixing was just awful. The best way I can describe the mixing on this album so far is this is what the Black Eyed Peas sound like to people that despise the Black Eyed Peas. I don't have a huge opinion on the Black Eyed Peas, but that's kind of the production style this is going for. And it just sounds abysmal. This is like everything I've heard so far is terrible. And I already know, okay, I scroll down and I see title track which is the third one. Okay, I've already heard that song and I know that one's awful. So how many songs are likely to be good? I don't know. Okay, but I want an improvement from that one. I'm hoping, you know, that was just a throwaway track that took 5.5 minutes for some reason, and we're gonna step up the quality in these next couple songs. That's at least, you know, my naive hope.
And the Lord said, Thou shalt not lie.
All right, I'm gonna bring it up again. A lot of people have asked me if my opinion has changed since the Fantano 0 out of 10 video, the part 1. Because that video was a while ago. I talked about skits in the Kid Cudi section and how I think a lot of the time it takes away from the album experience. I think that's true most of the time. There's definitely some skits that work. You know, I think of an Food or a To Pimp a Butterfly where it actively adds cohesion between the songs and it makes sense for the concept. So far, this feels closer to the Kid Cudi ones or the Kid Cudi skits. Sure, there's cohesion in the fact that it's the same idea behind each of the skits on each of the songs, but the skits are not enjoyable. Okay, it's not as bad as Beavis and Butthead so far, but the whole concept of, at least what I can tell it's going for, there's some sort of angels loving Corey Feldman type thing and him trying to follow the Lord's commands or something. Why is this even on the song? It doesn't add anything to the song experience, especially on this song. There's the one line, we go straight in. Obviously, sometimes people will sample one-liners from media they enjoy, but usually that has a connection to the song itself. So far, okay, the production was so blasphemous that there was no connecting whatever the beginning intro skit section was on the first song. Maybe I'm calling it too early, and the lyrical content really does connect super well between the skits and the actual core songs. But I have a feeling if there's a skit on every single song, most of them, if not all of them, could be cut. That is one of the worst vocal performances I've heard this entire year. That was unreal. The day you came into my life, I knew I'd have you as my wife. Hold on, let's run that one back. Oh, kill me where I stand. I can understand why Corey Feldman would want this blemish off his discography. Why this would be deleted from streaming services, because there's no redeeming. I don't know if I could show you a human on this rock of a planet that would enjoy this. Maybe they'd be like, that's hilarious, I love it, but it seems to be pretty universally hated. That's like the one-liner from a verse. There's so much more to the song. Do you know what the production on this song kind of reminds me of? Let me see if I can find this. Holy cow, this has 150 million views. Sorry to spoil this music video. Wait, didn't this come out in 2016? Oh, no. No. This was before that. It's not as close as I thought it was, but you guys can see the vision, okay? You get it. And that song was a Minecraft song that a YouTuber just paid, I think it was Tryhard Ninja. He paid Tryhard Ninja to make that. And it sounds better than this. Yeah, obviously the vocals are so much worse on this song. It's not even remotely comparable. Guys, I have the bravest take you're ever going to hear. You ready? This has the worst vocals of any of the 0 out of 10 so far. Okay? I'm joking because I feel like it's pretty obvious. The only possible argument is Tones and I, which I've seen people comment under my video now. Either hot take, Tones and I is really good, or Welcome to the Madhouse is really good. I have a small feeling that's not going to happen for this album. Just a tiny hunch, a tiny gut feeling. I don't think people are going to be like, I think this is actually good. If anything, people might say, I think this album's revolutionary because nothing sounds like it. So I like it for being unique. Nobody's going to say, I love the sound of it, because you can't defend the vocals. Anyone, I genuinely mean probably anyone, could perform this chorus better than what is being done by Corey. What? What is that? I give up. That is the most out of key thing I've ever heard on a song. Like a real song. How did this get released? Just to end the song, man. Whenever you want. That was the worst one so far. Not saying much. Okay, this song wasn't great either. But that one it unironically had off-key vocals. I don't know how you have off-key vocals with this much auto-tune. Okay, you'd think the auto-tune would make up for it. Maybe it was just whoever produced it. I think Corey did. Yeah, so if you set the key for the auto-tune and the key is wrong, then the auto-tune's not going to help. And that was clearly displayed on this song. Outside of that, the lyrics are so shallow. It's just like, oh yeah, you lied to me, and now I have to grapple with the fact that, you know, we're not in love and we're not together. Very simple. Okay. Painfully simple. That song, okay, it's way worse than either one of these. And these are already, like, awful, so. Alright, let's revisit Angelic to the Core.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning.
I do not want to listen to this skit again. For the integrity of the video, I'm going to sit through this again. And I should just skip this and get to the song. Because I've already heard this nonsense. It doesn't have anything to do with the song. It's entirely useless for like 2 minutes. For 2 minutes, I'm about to have to sit through this. And I'm gonna cut it all anyway. If I didn't have integrity, okay, I'd just skip this. And I'd cut it all out and pretend I listened to it. But I'm going to listen to this just for all of you. And for all of you, I hope you guys subscribe. Please subscribe to make up for me having to do this. I appreciate all of you.
The most important.
This is the most important. Don't forget to be sexy. Yeah!
I mean, be angelic to the core.
Of course.
He said it. Oh. An actual hot take. I think if this chorus was performed better, it's actually really catchy. Let's just ignore that it's Corey Feldman singing it, because after listening to this song in the Worst Songs video, it is catchy. Sometimes this will pop back up in my head randomly and I'm like, bro, someone put a bullet through my brain. But it's catchy. This song had potential. Unfortunately, it was not met, and it's awful. It's awful. Especially this dated dance production is so unfathomably horrible. I really do hope the female vocals stick around, because it's much easier to tune Corey out if I have another vocalist I can just latch on to. We don't need the ad-libs, Corey. Okay. Did I just hear a freaking cartoon or whatever? We'll get into that in the next song. I have two thoughts other than the ones I've already given on this song. I'm almost positive the last time I checked out this song, the lyrics were not complete. I'm almost positive this entire verse 3 section and afterward was added on after. And so I'm wondering, if it's one of you guys that went to Genius, added the lyrics, thank you, I guess. I respect the hustle. Me being able to see these lyrics didn't help the song, unfortunately. Still did not enjoy it. Another, I think, good comparison production-wise is LMFAO. Again, they do it better. They're not great either, but they do it better than this album. I'm almost positive Sorry for Party Rockin' came out before this. It's the more comparisons I think of, the worse I think the production is. So maybe I should just stop. I should appreciate how bad it is on its own. Forbidden Attraction, that could be really bad. So let's hope it's not really bad. Sick. Okay. Meanwhile, Baggett, yeah, I definitely heard a cartoon noise when the song was transitioning.
Oh, please, Corey, get down here right
away.
We need your help.
Yo, keep the production like this. Okay? Got a little bit of funky action. Kind of Stevie Wonder-esque. Keep this, okay? I already know it's going to go into some, actually awful electronic production. But let's consider this, okay? For once, the skit is saving me. I want the skits. If the production's better in them, okay? Give me more skits.
I'm coming.
Okay, who's Kaya Jones? Clever wordplay. When he says that he's coming, he means that he's coming. Okay. Who is... I was hoping the annotation would answer for me who Kaya Jones is, not tell me that the wordplay... Okay. She's a singer and a model. Featuring Kaya Jones? She's on the song and she let him say this? She must be level 100 chill. She must be the queen of chill. That's crazy. Okay, this is different. Now we got the corpse husband vocal delivery. Kaya, please, for my sake, save the song with your vocals. Please just take over. Just take over. Get Corey out of his own song. She's not great either, I guess. I'm not clicking that annotation after the last one. They clash so hard. They clash. I'm going to guess the lyrical content is, seductive and meant to be like, oh yeah, look at us. We love each other. For two lovebirds, they sure clash hard vocally. Man, that was awful. Please don't sing together again. I got what I asked for. I did. And now I want to apologize to the fans. I feel like I directly caused this. I asked for, more Kaya solo. Okay, I wanted her to take over the song. And she did for the chorus there. And it was no better than Corey. So I'm sorry for doing that to all of you. I'm not clicking on that either. Just make this, let's just sing this song. Let's make this a Spanish song. Add that, kind of reggae dance beat. You might just save the song. Unfortunately, it's sung by Kaya Jones and Corey Feldman. And it's in English. So I have to deal with knowing what it's saying. And I have to keep skipping over these annotations because I already know they're about to be nasty. Yeah. Stop moaning in my ear, please. It's over. That song. There's still so much more album, guys. Oh, it's nowhere near over. I think that song was meant to be like hot and sensual and, you know, arousing, and it did none of those. It was uncomfortable, and it sounded awful, especially when they both sung at the same time. They did it in the chorus, they did it in, you know, sections of the verses, and it was miserable. I don't think it's worse than the second song, just because that one actually had off-key moments that like killed me inside. But it's close. That's a close follow-up. Ooh, okay, I'm hoping this means this is like a minute-long song. Okay, that'd make me feel better about looking at this track list if there's just a bunch of minute-long songs. Okay, Pet Scott type of feel. Okay. Okay. Listen. This song is very simple, but there's nothing, I mean, other than obviously the performance from Corey and the somewhat dated production, but this is tolerable. The rest of this album has not been tolerable. Compared to that garbage, I will take this all day. You know, I will appreciate what we have. This is by far the best song. I hope it's not ruined by some random garbage. I don't know what just compelled me to say this. Guys, can we get like a Daria core song and sample this garbage? I feel like if I heard this in a Daria core song, I would go stupid. It'd be like one of the best moments of my life. I'm just scrolling and I play a Daria core song in the car and I just hear this sample. I wonder how many people would catch it and be like, wow, that's terrible. I think that'd be very funny. If you do that, send it to me on Twitter or Discord, okay? And I will shout you out. I really don't mind this song that much. I will say this is way too long for what this is. How is it fading out? Okay, I have several thoughts on this one. Yes, I'm glad it was a very simple song. It's very hard to mess up because it didn't have those super harsh, awful elements that the rest of the record has had so far. I think it's my favorite. However, this thing lasted like 5 minutes and there wasn't much of a song. This thing could have been 30 seconds. It could have been an interlude, like transition thing into another song. And instead it was a full-length track. Now, that's a double-edged sword because on one hand, it should not be that long. It was not good. It was not enough of a song idea to be a full-length track. However, because this was so long, it takes up time from the rest of the record that would have been complete and utter hogwash. So, for that, I appreciate that it was really long because it could have been a far worse song in its place that was this long. I'm glad this is over with. How are there 22 songs? I'm never going to finish this album.
You're correct, Angels. You are surrounded. You need to get out of there.
How is the same stupid instrumental in the background again? How are we using it again? That doesn't make any... It wasn't good enough on the title track to bring it back, but I guess we're bringing it back. Why is there a harmonica? This song's almost normal, but it's so uncanny because it's not at all. Take the harmonica out of the mix. Maybe that would save the song and get someone else to sing on it. Oh man, this almost sounds like a kind of, you know, really early 2000s pop song, maybe a late 90s, but it has a stupid harmonica on it. Like, what are we doing? Imagine just for a second is like an Avril Lavigne song. There's a chance it's enjoyable, but it's not because it's freaking Corey Feldman singing it. Man. Okay, I have another just complete gut song concept. Why am I even pulling this up? It's not going to sound like this. We'll ignore that I even tried that. Sorry. How long is this chorus? Why is it so long? Quick thoughts on Bad People. As I said earlier, I feel like you throw an artist like Avril Lavigne or Kelly Clarkson probably wouldn't fit the bill. Anyone with kind of that sassy, rebellious type of attitude in the pop scene, this song is suddenly a lot better, in my opinion. The vocals would be better. There was some girl in the chorus that was like going stupid on the backing vocals. Like, it was insane listening to this chorus. But, okay, this last chorus lasted an eternity. And it was no more fun once you reached the bottom than it was at the top. Okay? It was not necessary. Ending your song with a car crash is a bold choice. I thought it was bold when JPEG Mafia had a cop getting killed on his song. Corey decided to throw a car crash on. So, you know, people will always one up you. Duh by Corey Feldman. Is this song going to be better by by underscores? I'm going to put $1 million on the underscore song being better. But, you know, maybe I'll be in debt forever and just die.
I don't know. It's just duh.
You must be divine.
That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make it. Who talks like that? Who? I've never met someone who talks like that. Maybe it's just because I live in Ohio. But, bro, come on. Oh, this song's obnoxious already. No! One of the worst courses like ever of all time, of all of human history. This is going to be a long song because it's a chorus. You know, a chorus means it's repeated more than one time. So, man. Okay, right. Maybe. Let's hope Genius doesn't violate him here. What does it say? Yeah, it violated him. Okay. I hate this song.
This is the part where it gets real crazy. Everybody knows that you can't be lazy. Everybody knows that my name ain't Stacy.
We're back to Lyrical Miracle, okay? Everybody knows that my name ain't Stacy. Does that mean something in relation to the rest of the lyrics? No. That line was chosen because it rhymes with crazy, lazy, and crazy again. Like, okay. Also, this bridge, we did not need this much spice on this song, okay? It was already killing me. You know, the chorus, obviously. Get rid of this. And then, yeah, this bridge part, the production took a sharp turn off a cliff. Clearly.
Remember in a minute, I'm the best rapper ever.
Facts! Okay, that he was playing around there. I think this song is more of him having fun. The rest of this album has felt really authentic and genuine, and like he's genuinely trying to make a product. This is like, oh, I'm being goofy. Oh, I don't remember my lines. Oh, wait, how do I count again? I don't know how to count a time signature. Oh, I can kind of see what he's going for. It's still not great. It's not very fun to listen to. It's like Lil Dicky. Like Lil Dicky, he's like, oh, I'm doing this thing, but actually I know what I'm doing. But it's never that entertaining. Unbelievable song. I lost so much HP listening to this. I got deceived. I saw a different album cover. I was like, maybe there's a chance it'll be different. It'll be different. But no, this fits the vision of the album really hard. This must have just been a single for some reason. Oh, that might be the worst one so far. Like, I know track 2 had the off-key singing. It did. But the hook was nowhere near as bad as it was on that song. Wow. That was awful. Let me click on track 8, and then we'll go back to track 10. It's a bit repetitive, arguably. This is certainly different from the rest of the tracks. This intro, not really connected to the other skits. Felt kind of isolated. I'm assuming we're about to hear Dr. Ice. Never heard of Dr. Ice, personally. I don't think this is as egregious as a lot of the other songs we've heard so far. It's certainly not great with some of the mixing decisions, and also, obviously, Corey's delivery. Still rough around the edges. But it does have more of a mainstream shell. Like, it could make sense on the radio if it were performed better. Where a lot of the other songs are so wacky and so unbelievable that's not the case. I couldn't give that compliment. So I'll give it that.
What you want your life to be? You can really come and take a trip with me. Tired of a day. You wake up feeling crappy.
That was by far the most normal song in my opinion. Oh, you guys can't see that. Snoop Dogg's on this? How did they get Snoop Dogg on this album? Yeah, I feel like the shell of the song could work with other people performing it. But because Corey Feldman... Oh, it's also not produced by him. Okay, that makes sense. Sounds a little more normal. It's a little less jarring than the rest. It's still not amazing. But, you know, I was considering like a 0 out of 10 for this album. And just for this song alone being somewhat normal, I don't think I'll give it a 0. Yeah, it's still not amazing. But that was a nice little break from the rest of the awful tracks. There's no lyrics for this one, guys. Sorry.
That's why your feet are dragging. Don't go in. I'm all about my game, staying in my lane, dipping down the highway.
What is happening?
I'm going and I came, and I've been around the world. I've seen it.
Okay, where did this hook come from? Did you guys hear any build up to this or anything leading into it? Because it sounds completely different from the rest of the song. It's very jarring. Corey, this is a standout for a rough Corey vocal performance for sure. It's very tough to listen to.
You think you got this, and you trip about it. Don't want. Give me game, give me love, give me real. How you feel? Have Snoop in the coop, and I'll be around the world. Around.
Dude, they have anti-synergy. Absolutely no cohesion between their parts. Corey just decided, he's like, I need to be back on my song. Get me back on the song right now. And so now he's back, okay, in the middle of this dude's verse. Look at it. That sounds awful. This song sucks. That was technically a song, I think, falls under the definition. The Lickety Splickety somehow was better than the Duh. This song, also abysmal, also atrocious, also a travesty of the ears. Who was the dude featured on it? Corrupt. Corrupt didn't really help the song all that much. especially when he was doing his own thing and Corey decided to just come in anyway. I don't think that necessarily helped the track all that much. Unfortunately, I did not like that one either. Okay, this is the one with Snoop Dogg. Let's see what the deal is.
Hit the club, tell him.
Ooh, we got some skrills. Yo, Skrill, drop it hard, as everyone likes to say. You know, I needed me some Skrillex with some Corey Feldman. Obviously not produced by Skrillex. Okay, we'd be seeing Sonny Moore up here. It's not produced by Skrillex. This is some very dated bro step production right away. And my question is, okay, Corey Feldman's making some bro step. How is Snoop Dogg going to be incorporated? That's the real question. How is Snoop Dogg going to fit on a bro step track? And will I want him on a Skrillex song in the future? That's what I'm hoping to find out today. Oh shoot, this is about to go crazy. This is kind of a catchy part, I can't even lie. Never gets old. Snoop Dogg.
We gon' blaze it, we gon' blaze it, we gon' go.
Not the most impressive showing from Snoop Dogg, guys. I can't lie. Okay, I feel like this might have been a bag chase from Snoop Dogg. Not really putting his all into the verse for Go For It, you know, a bro step song by Corey Feldman. Yeah. Oh, shoot, he's going to sing on the outro. He must have gotten a big bag. That song inspired a generation. Throw a This Is Skrillex on the screen. Throw this in a Spotify playlist. I mean, maybe some people will know. Okay, nerdy people like me. Man, Corey Feldman, he truly is revolutionary. He can do whatever he wants. Okay, he'll throw a little skit where he's talking to angel girls. He'll do, you know, the worst hook you've ever heard in your life. He'll do whatever this song with Kaya Jones was. And he'll do bro step with Snoop Dogg. Okay, nobody else in the world can say they did bro step with Snoop Dogg, okay? I will say, the pre-chorus, like the pre-drop, actually pretty catchy. Rest of the song, it's hard to describe it with, you know, English words. It was next level. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. This album is so long, okay? And I don't have time. So I'm gonna finish out disc 1 and finish this album tomorrow. And we're missing lyrics again. Perfect. All right. Ooh, maybe some R&B? Maybe? You know, from what I'm gathering from the lyrics I can hear, this is just Kanye West Spaceship if it was good. Obvious joke, guys. Come on. But lyrically, I think he's going for more of a, you know, going to work is hard and I'm a hard worker and they don't care. I'm replaceable, or like they can replace me if they want. Yeah, obviously the vocal performance is the big contributor to why this song is not enjoyable. This song's unbelievable sounding. Why is every song like 5 minutes? Can we just end them, please? Okay, we got some like brass. Sounds alright. Guys, I've never heard an Eminem album. Is this what it's like? Okay. Whew. I am taking a break. That's the halfway mark. Give some quick thoughts on... Shoot, that song was test 1. Let's just say this, okay? If you're going to work and you feel like you're kind of slaving away at it, it's not getting any better. It's the same old every day. Just remember on your commute that you can relate to Corey Feldman because he wrote a song just for you. Unfortunately, you can't read the lyrics, so you'll just have to memorize them as you listen to it. But hopefully, you know, Spaceship by Kanye West. He's pretty problematic. It kind of falls out of rotation. And into your rotation comes Test 1 by Corey Feldman. It was a really boring song. Like, at least, Go For It was like fascinating and hilarious the entire time. But Test 1 was really boring. Other than these kind of brass instruments in the background that were, somewhat nice to listen to, it was a really boring song, and it was like 5 minutes. Not the strongest showing from Corey. No we don't have lyrics for the next 5 songs? Okay. Well, we're going to be tapped into YouTube for a while, guys. What happened? Why did we do that? The instrumental, okay, it wasn't great. The mixing is like next level garbage, but why this vocal delivery, man? I feel like Corey can sing. It's just you cannot tell so far on this record. Yeah, the more like jazzy brass instrumentation I actually like. I think it's okay. But bro, Corey's vocals are still awful. Like, bro, man. Come on.
Yo, gon' turn it up, gon' break it down, gon' twist it up, gon' move it around.
What? What is this breakdown part?
Gon' turn it up, gon' break it down, gon' twist it up, gon' move it around.
Wow. That is different. That is not something I expected in this song. I will fully admit. That one caught me off guard.
Ain't nobody getting mad at y'all, about to snap this shit like a snapper bro. Mr. Bojango.
Oh my gosh. That line was awful. Dude, okay. I don't know who's featured here. It's clearly not Corey rapping this part. Just as corny as him, unfortunately. How do people... Well, because people listen to The Big Day and they think it's corny in isolation. Listen to The Big Day and then listen to this and tell me which one's cornier. Okay? I don't like The Big Day. Okay? I think some people had that misconception. I don't like it, but it's way better than this. It's not even close. Oh my dude! That was one of the worst verses like ever. And you can't, they're not here. You can't look at what he said because nobody bothered to even try. I can't blame those people. Man, that was horrendous.
Baby, make no mistake, I'll be moving your way.
The vocals are so... I'm running out of words to describe them. That was like next level. Just breathe. It's okay. The song's paused now. You're safe.
Moving your way, I'll be looking to play. LA dodging, you know me. Watch out, yeah, catch me, homie. You like Miley Cyrus twerking, y'all can't help but watch it.
Dude, who let this guy write a song? Okay, let me just go on a little tangent about talent, okay? I think some people are naturally gifted at certain things, and others, they can achieve close to or the same level of skill in something without the talent with a ton of hard work. And then there are some people that there are some activities and skills that no matter how much effort they put in and how much they try, it just will not work. And no offense to this rapper guy, who I can't see who it is. Actually, it might be listed down here. I don't know if this guy could ever learn to write a verse that isn't insanely corny. Every time that guy has come on, I've been wanting to hear Corey instead, which is saying so much because Corey is like one of a kind levels of bad. This song is certainly memorable. I'll give it that.
Baby, make no mistake.
Not again! I wish the mixing wasn't abysmal. Because again, I would be able to like, kind of lightly enjoy it, but it sounds so bad and overblown. You can't enjoy it. Why was that song like 5 minutes long? Why? Genuinely, why? Part of me wants to say that was one of the worst songs on the album, like by a lot, but I don't know if I can say that with, the quality of tracks we've gotten so far. For context of where I'm feeling with this right now, I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 100, because at the end of the day, this song was tolerable. And shoot, what was the other? Yeah, Bad People. That song almost worked. The rest of this has been worst song of all time after worst song of all time after worst song over and over again. That song would easily just fit into one of the worst ever made normally, but because it's on this album, I actually don't know. It's really hard to say. It could have been 2 minutes long, or it could have not been a song at all. Okay, just saying. I'll throw that one out there. Could have, stayed in the vaults, but whatever. All right, next we got Wanna Break Free. Again, not the worst starting instrumental. His vocals are awful as always, but so far, this one I can stand. Okay, that's not too offensive. I can handle this one. No! Why, Corey? This song was perfectly listenable, okay? His vocals were rough, but it kind of just felt like, a decent kind of, classic pop song that maybe you're at karaoke and you're listening to someone sing it while they're drunk or something. You're like, whatever, they're not doing a good job, but at least, they're having fun. And then what was this? Maybe one of the worst noises ever conceived by man. We had to ruin the song for fun. That was ingenious.
I just wanna break free. I'll break free. Break free. I just wanna break
Oh man, end the song. Do you guys remember the kind words I might have given to this song? Forget everything I said. Genuinely, forget everything I said. Because, first minute and a half of this song just kind of felt a little awkward, but at the end of the day, it was a completely listenable track. And then Corey decided to have some rock breakdown where he stretched the limits of his voice to their furthest limits, and it did not work. It did not work in the slightest. It was not fun to listen to. It was painful. It was a painful listen, which, if you showed me the first half of the song, would not have been my guess. So what I thought was going to be an easy lock for, best song on the album, no longer contemplating the 0 out of 10, because at least, there's like a 5 out of 10 song, got ruined immediately. And it's now, that was awful. I do not like the start of this.
A tragic ending starting the evening of absence.
What is this?
Within a dream, hoping we'll love each other.
The worst part of this one is I don't even mind the backing instrumental as much. This one's mixed a little better than some of the earlier tracks, in my opinion. Corey is just trying every type of vocal delivery, and almost none of them have clicked a single time on this track. Again, part of it's amusing, but it's not, I'm not experiencing joy listening to it. It's just amusing. Outside of a gimmick, I'm not listening to this song ever again. What is this, man? How is this still going? That one was also complete garbage. Although, again, maybe, I don't know what it is about the second disc. Maybe going into it fresh from not listening to this album, straight in a row. But I'm not minding a lot of the instrumentals as much. Obviously, the one song, the last one we listened to, "Wanna Break Free," just absolutely ruined it. And "Seamless" was mixed really poorly, but I didn't necessarily mind the instrumental on that one. I could have survived it if it was by itself, but Corey's vocal deliveries, the different assortment of them, with none of them really working, led to this song dragging really hard. It felt like it was like 8 minutes, especially near the end there, where it just kept repeating that refrain over and over and over again. I thought the song wasn't going to end. Yeah, it did end, and it was not good. This is another just rough track in the track. Why is this album 22 songs, and why are half the songs like 5 minutes long? That was one thing people can't really comprehend about why I didn't really enjoy the Kid Cudi album at all. They saw that I cut it down to like 25 or 30 minutes of reacting. I sat here for like 2.5 hours because the album is an hour and a half long, and I hated all of it. So it was such a long amount of time. And it's the same with this album. This album is so bloated and lengthy that the bad elements are exacerbated because you have to sit through them for longer. So like, while I think Welcome to the Madhouse for its size was the worst, these longer albums, the problems, like I said, get exacerbated by them being longer because you have to experience the elements you don't like for a longer period of time. When did we... Because I remember the first half of this album, disc 1, was a lot more electronic. There were like some bro step elements, and there were, some other... There was a bit of electro pop stuff too, and now we've like shifted into much more rock and metal focused stuff. Maybe that's part of the album vision, is we swap genres halfway through. And maybe that's why I feel like this second disc is a bit more consistent. The electronic production was just horrendous. It was not any good at all. And this is also really bad, but at least it feels like the core of the songs feels a little more solid. There's a bit more that it can lean into that feels more comfortable. I don't know. But maybe next song will be a bro step song and my whole analysis will be completely wrong.
You got me. Time to grow, become a... You got me.
Oh, man. What is this bridge? Okay, get that nonsense out of here. It's kind of turning into butt rock. This song is very much a butt rock song. Oh man, this one's obnoxious. The way it's just how heavily it's driving with Corey just... I don't know how he was in the studio and thought these vocals sounded good, but they don't. They don't sound good. Fun fact, I'm saying an hour into this album, none of the vocals have been good. Yeah, I want this style of rock to go away and maybe reel in some of the elements and look for more consistent sound, and we might be in the clear.
They also say shit rolls downhill. Well, I'm at the bottom, and I'm a mess.
I'll throw that lyric I just heard on screen, but it's a cornfield. This album is a cornfield, okay? I live in Ohio. I would know. I know my corn. This is a cornfield of an album. My song was obnoxious the whole time, especially the chorus. Like, at least the verses, they're a little more subtle, and then the chorus comes in and it's just like boom, all in your face, and it was awful. Not to mention, okay, that line I pointed out, awful, just straight corniness. Too much corn can kill you, is the common catchphrase, of course. Yeah, that song was insufferable. I still don't think it's the worst song here, is the worst part. Why is that at the beginning of my song? Is Corey a real gooner? What was that about? I don't mind this chord progression. I do mind this sample in the background. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It could be like a baby giggling or something. It could be a clip from an adult video. It could be Corey finding new ways to make sounds or something. But whatever it is, it needs to get out of my ears so I can just hear this chord progression that actually sounds halfway decent. I know when Corey starts singing, it's gonna go downhill again, but you know, I'm gonna sit in this temporary bliss of just the nice guitar chords. You know, I'll live into that piece.
Daddy's here.
Daddy's here. That's not too bad. How is he gonna ruin this song? That's not too bad so far. This song is listenable. This is amazing that it's listenable. Let me clarify. It's amazing that it's listenable. It's not an amazing song. You could sneak this one in an aux playlist if you're with some older, individuals, and they probably wouldn't want to kill you. So far, Corey hasn't ruined the song yet. It might be the best song on the album. Oh no. Was Corey ahead of his time? Is he a fan of LeBron? Okay, listen, I don't care for that meme at all, but I gotta bring it up. He started singing the song, man. Retake the vocals. We all mess up, okay? We all mess up. Sometimes I mess up saying something when I'm recording. I'd repeat a line. Redo it. Just redo it. No one will know. How did this sneak in? Why did we throw that at the end of the song? Why did we do that? That was so pointless. What was the point of the You Are My Sunshine reference sample type thing? Okay, outside of that, I also don't know what on earth that sample at the beginning was. Okay, it could be something horrible. It could be something chill. I really don't know. But I chose to ignore it because after the first 30 seconds, the sample fell out of the instrumentation. That was by far the most listenable song so far. Unfortunately, I would not throw this in a playlist because it ends with that stupid, awful cover of You Are My Sunshine for some reason. I don't know why we snuck that in the end. That song was like, it's between a 4 and a 6, which is so much better than almost every other song we've heard on this album so far. So I will give Corey credit where credit is due. I did not mind that one. That one was okay to listen to.
The burns inside of you.
Why didn't Corey do this vocal style for the entire album? This sounds so comfortable. He's not straining his voice every second that he's singing. He's not going for these stupid screamo moments over bro step production or, going into some metal breakdown that sounds atrocious. This sounds, again, comfortable. It sounds decent. Again, I could survive this. It's still not my thing. I think there are, you could get the same experience but better with a lot of just classic rock albums, even some more, pop rock stuff. But again, like if this whole album was like this, I'd give it a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's not too bad. So I hope this style sticks around. And I'm hopeful because, this next track we wanted changed that's after this one is by far the highest rated on albumoftheyear.com. So it's possible we found the best 3-track run. Okay! The best chorus on this album. Right there. That was the best chorus so far. We're saved. Corey found his footing. He found his footing. Why did it have to wait till disc 2? Beats me. You know, we could have scrapped disc 1. I know you're proud, you know, you got Snoop Dogg to feature on, you know, your track, which is crazy. But, you know, you could keep the awful Bro Step song with Snoop Dogg. Why not make more like this song and the last song, and hopefully what the next song sounds like? This seems to be the style that works for Corey. You know, I'm glad I'm not just dogging on the guy the whole time, because, you know, this sounds halfway decent. I don't mind it at all. I kind of like this song. I won't even lie. Nice. Good solo. Okay. It actually happened. Corey Feldman made a song that I like. Okay, I will be fully transparent, guys. I liked this song. Maybe my standards are too low after, you know, the first 16 songs, but I thought this was cute. You know, it's kind of like a ballad, clearly dedicated to someone he really cares about. The vocal performances, by far the best on the entire record so far. It might have been a little too long. You know, I thought the chorus was by far the best as well. It's kind of catchy and it's cute and fun. It's lighthearted. Yeah, I had no issues. I just kept waiting. I was like, oh, trust me, bro. In a couple seconds, Corey's just going to go into some awful metal butt rock breakdown. And it never happened. This song remained normal. Okay. I will immediately say from the intro, I am not impressed. Okay. The vocals felt more strained, uncomfortable, and awkward than they did on the last song. Of course, it is just the intro. It's kind of it's not quite reggae or jazz, but it's kind of in that lane. And I don't know, I feel like the last style was more Corey's thing, but maybe in the verses and the chorus, it'll end up being more comfortable for him.
Late September, leaves are turning. Not too long but back when we were all together, and we knew we were here.
What is he sounds like a Paul McCartney clone. What is his vocal style and this vocal delivery? I feel like he had it on the last song. Am I crazy? This is the one that people love? Yeah, I don't like this one very much so far.
To stay. We were together.
Guys, what are we doing? Are we serious? Is this a joke? Was this a joke to like bait me into getting excited? This song is not good. In fact, okay, I kind of liked this one. I liked this one. This is right there with these earlier ones from disc 2. Oh, it is dance and it's rock. Okay, yeah. Disc 2 so far is infinitely better. But, okay, this song's not very good. I do not... The chorus is kind of frustrating. The vocal style that I thought had so much charm and a unique kind of spin on it on the last song has been replaced with this kind of budget Paul McCartney from the Beatles kind of delivery. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing.
We want it change. Week, that's right. We've got the salad bar over there for $5.95.
Corey Feldman isn't British, is he? Is he just putting the... I swear he's just copying Paul McCartney. It has to be. Like, this is so goofy. I am not impressed. That is the same slop this whole thing has been. I clicked on this annotation in this last chorus. I am genuinely impressed at how this man can conceive a chorus like this. I am genuinely impressed. Oh, are they hating? Oh, never mind. Okay. Seems like they're hating. Yeah, I'm hating too. That was not a fun song to listen to. At least the other songs were memorable. They had some sort of weird, eccentric Corey Feldman going off his rocker that I will remember till I die. This song I will not remember till I die. It was just boring, and it sounded like a combination of a couple other people. Yeah, I'm fairly disappointed in this one. We only got 4 left. Only 4 songs left.
Of Saddam Airport, just 9 miles from Baghdad.
Oh no, is this gonna be a political song from Corey Feldman? I'm gonna give my political take real quick. I'm an idiot. So watch me for my entertainment. Do not watch me for politics. And I'm gonna go into Corey Feldman's music from the same perspective. For the last 18 songs, I've seen this guy's his lust, his relationships. I've seen some genre fusions that should be banned in the Geneva Conventions. I don't know if I need his political take. I don't think I'm going to care. Feel like he's not super informed. He's probably about as informed as I am on a bunch of stuff. So we'll see how much I comment on. Probably very little because I don't care about politics at all.
I'm staring out the window, caught inside a dream. Can't stop all the pain, all the lies that are born. We need peace right now. We need to take a stand.
Sounds pretty generic. Oh, this is not good mix.
We need peace right now.
Oh, they gave up on the lyrics. And the song. Okay, I have many thoughts on this song. First of all, I will give him credit. While the lyrics are pretty simple, they are able to kind of paint a picture in your brain of, what he's experiencing, what he's seeing, which I'd have to give credit for. I think that's good. I'm not a super political person, but I can agree with the political take that, peace is good and, it sucks when people die. Okay? I'll go ahead and agree with that. I was wondering for a second, I was like, I wonder why I'm less crazy about this song, but I'm more crazy about a lot of the Lil B stuff. A lot of the Lil B album was kind of just, peace and love. We should love everybody and treat everybody equally, which is a similar message to this song. But I think the difference, for one, is the production styles. This thing was overblown and generic. Like, it was nothing notable. Lil B had some genuinely excellent samples and production ideas. And I think his lyrical content was a little more fleshed out, was a little more interesting. I think he found his lane that worked, and it seems he's abandoned it. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. But okay, again, that's way better than a lot of those earlier tracks.
Remember back when we were kids.
Oh, we're so back. We're so back to these awful vocals.
We did it all. We let most people's dreams free. We were the two cold eyes. We did it all.
Bro, man. Does Corey, did he not feel on his voice, the strain? Did he not be like, oh, interesting. When I sung Baby Blue Eyes and For My Love, my voice felt better. Did you not think that? Because I could hear it. Man, this sucks. I'm so sad that we're back to this garbage again.
And it's not only an automobile, it is a license to live.
What are we going on about?
Remember how I made you laugh?
Is that a key change? Not crazy about this key change, I'm gonna be honest. That was abysmal. I'm so glad. Corey's song. What were these? Were these Corey's song? Were any of these his songs? Because I remember the credits saying, that he produced the songs. I don't know what that's about. We're back to that awful vocal style. The rock instrumental was really, really generic. And the key change near the end was like the nail in the coffin. It's put even more strain on Corey's voice, and it just sounded bad. I didn't enjoy that one at all.
Bow my knees.
Huh? yeah, this song is definitely slowing down the pace of the album, you know, kind of preparing us for the exit, which I've been begging for, you know, like the last hour I've been recording. Yeah, it sounds mid. It's not very fun or engaging to listen to. Maybe Corey's just asking for mercy after, you know, putting the listener through this album experience, but this song's not great either. What is this vocal style? Whatever. What is that gonna be? Why did that just happen? Bro, what is that? Why are we doing that? I had to end on a stinker, I guess. You guys can read. I'm not moving my cursor. What is this song, man? This is the most repetitive song ever made. Yeah, that one sucked. That was not any fun to listen to. Especially this part. This is the most repetitive song I've ever heard in my entire life. And, you know, I've listened to Daft Punk. No, I'm joking. I love Daft Punk. I almost feel like I forgot these verses happened because this chorus lasted such a long time. It was not very fun to listen to. The kind of choir vocals came back, which, you know, I didn't miss from disc 1. We could have left that on disc 1. But yeah, at least it's over. I got one more song, then I'm free. Oh, is this not a song? Let's continue. Let's finish this out.
Time instead of it all. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something.
Bro, this song is a slog. It's so stagnant. It's just nothing has happened. A working class hero is something to be. I could hear that the one time, get it? And yeah, I don't understand why this song is so stale. But this is one of the most boring on the whole record.
If you wanna be a hero, then just follow me.
This is a really clever way to get people to follow your social media, Corey Feldman. Fortunately, I'm not going to be falling for it.
Come, children. Come home.
You know, the angel concept was abandoned so long ago. It was actually like track, what, 10? Okay, we haven't heard any angel references since, you know, then. I don't know why we're bringing it back at the end, but whatever. Just end the album.
And your heart is not believing.
Oh, it's over. Oh, it's finally done with. I finished Angelic to the Core by Corey Feldman. My thoughts, I feel like I've spent too much time with this record now. The first half, the whole dance section of this album was unlistenable. So much of the production was like utterly abysmal, and a lot of the features weren't all that helpful. It didn't really save the project. The second half, much more focused on Corey himself, and there were some better production moments, some better songwriting ideas. There were still some awful songs. Absolutely awful. Especially near the end there. Like, these three were awful. The beginning of this was awful. It was not a fun listening experience. This is one of the worst albums ever made. But I'm going to say it. 89. No, I'm joking. I fat fingered. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 100, which I don't know how many of you are familiar with my other scores. I did give Welcome to the Madhouse a 0. Okay. I do think there are more enjoyable tracks and songs and higher highs on Angelic to the Core than Welcome to the Madhouse, which might be insane to say, but just being genuine here. However, okay, this at least had more experienced instrumentation, even if it was one of the biggest slogs ever. I enjoyed this album less than this. It seems I'm finally done with the 0 out of 10s. Even the unofficial ones that didn't get official zeros from Fantano, I've now finally listened to in full. So in a bit, I'm going to record my final thoughts and rankings for each of the albums. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for being along with me on this ride. The first Fantano 0 out of 10 video literally made my YouTube channel. Like, I would not have almost any of the fans I have today without it. My channel grew by like 5 or 6 times what it was before. I didn't know what I was getting into when I made that video. I just wanted to listen to some music I never listened to. And then people were, you know, talking about my credibility as like a music critic. I still don't really think of myself as a music critic. So that was pretty insane that the video reached that many people. And I hope I can get better and better at, you know, giving my thoughts on what I like and don't like about things. And also just being a better entertainer when I react to stuff. But yeah, I want to thank each and every one of you for being along on this journey. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm going to be listening to plenty more bad music with the Hive Mind Worst songs. The Fantano 1 out of 10s I'm looking into doing still. I'm also looking into, you know, more consistent series as we move into Quirkay season 2, with different, you know, album stuff and different genre stuff, fan submitted stuff, and also, you know, classic ranking stuff. So there's going to be plenty more content. Don't go anywhere. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Let's get straight into my final rankings for all of the 0 out of 10 albums. Whether you made it all the way to the end of this video or you just skipped to the very end to see my final rankings, I appreciate you watching this part of the video. Seriously, it means so much to me. What I wanted to do is do basically what I did in the first video where I rank all the zeros, but I want to include the albums from part 1 and give a score because I didn't used to give album scores, but now I'm more confident in my thoughts on each of the albums. And I gave a short little review of each. So I'm just going to list off the albums in order from favorite to least favorite and the score along with a short paragraph as to why I gave that album that score. So starting with the best album, the number 1 album from this 2-part series, we have Lil B, I'm Gay. By far the best album in the 0 out of 10 catalog. There were genuinely great sample flips, lyrical moments, and writing that provided some honestly pretty emotionally potent moments. And I'm excited to check out more of Lil B's discography if the rest of it is as good as that album. And I gave that a 7 out of 10. Next, at number 2, we have Chance the Rapper's The Big Day. There's certainly a massive dip in quality from Lil B, I'm Gay to Chance the Rapper, The Big Day. Many people commented on my initial video saying, you know, you had to be there. Like, if you were there when Chance dropped, you'd know how bad the album is. You know, I was just coming at it from how much did I enjoy the music, and I thought some of the music was enjoyable. There are certainly a lot of boring songs, and Chance definitely underperformed on this album after listening to Acid Rap. But at the same time, the artists that were featured on the album provided a lot of value and managed to salvage some of the songs. There's certainly some decent songs on there, and I do not think it's nearly as bad as people claim it is. I gave it a 5 out of 10. At number 3, we have Ken Carson's X, which I think is my most controversial take in my career so far. I personally didn't really enjoy the album. The writing was hilariously bad. Ken's performances were really bad. And the track list was incredibly bloated. Like, it was way too long. Ken's delivery on many of the lines, his flow, was just so rough around the edges. A lot of the recordings, you could hear the cuts between lines, and it was just not, like, it was rough to listen to. Despite all the issues I have with the album, the production is honestly pretty fun at points, and there were a few songs that managed to click and that I found some enjoyment in. So I gave this album a 4 out of 10. At number 4, we have Green Day, Father of All, which I think is unbelievable because I hated that album, but it's at number 4. Many have commented recently on my video about how the problem with the album isn't that they copied a bunch of classic rock songs. It's how they executed on the album, and that they wanted to get out of the label deal they were in, so they threw out a piece of trash record. And I agree with most of these people. I think you can execute on a classic rock album in the year 2024. It's certainly possible. However, they kind of got the worst of both worlds, where the lyrical content was absolute garbage, but the sound of the album was so generic and didn't add anything innovative or new. It was an entirely pointless record, and it was just overall, an awful experience, because why wouldn't you just listen to the original music? It executed on the ideas the album was going for significantly better, and it came out like 60 years before Father of All did. I gave it a 2 out of 10. At number 5, we have MGK and Trippie Redd's Genre Sad Boy. This album was a soulless waste of time. There was not a single standout performance on the entire thing. The writing is blatantly pandering to depressed and suicidal people the entire way. And the way MGK frames himself in the lyrics as kind of this victim, this misunderstood guy, is kind of frustrating, because a lot of the criticisms he receives are deserved, in my opinion. It's just overall, there's nothing to return to in the instrumentals. There's nothing to return to writing wise. And the performances from MGK and Trippie Redd are so painfully bad that it was an awful album, in my opinion. An awful experience. I gave it a 1 out of 10. At number 6, we have Planningtorock, All Love's Legal, which was just an absolute mess sonically. The album had a concept and theme that it was going for, at least from what I could tell, but the lyrical content is so bare bones and basic, and the production was so jarring and terrible that it failed to deliver anything worthwhile, and there is absolutely no replay value in the entire track list. I gave it a 1 out of 10. At number 7, we have Kid Cudi's Speeding Bullet to Heaven. Listening to the entire album was soul draining for me. It is such a long album, and it just it kills me every time. But I don't want people to start thinking I only dislike the album because of how long it is. That's only the start of the problems, okay? A lot of people comment saying, I'm overhating on the album. Okay, there's a few select songs that they can take out and they enjoy, which I respect that. Okay, if you can take out some songs from the album and enjoy them, I absolutely respect that. However, the listening to this thing as an album experience from top to bottom is an absolute disaster. The tone shifts between grating grunge to sad boy ballad to Beavis and Butthead skits makes it impossible to take it seriously. I cannot take the album seriously. I don't enjoy it at all. It is just a devastating experience for my ears and my enjoyment. So I gave it a 1 out of 10. All right, here we go. We got 2 heavy hitters. At number 8, we have Corey Feldman, Angelic to the Core, which is a true masterclass in awful music. It deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore of garbage music, if there is such a thing. That could be an interesting video. Maybe I should make that. The performances from Corey were next level horrendous, and neither the electronic nor the rock production made it even remotely listenable. It didn't matter which side of the album you were on. Both sides were terrible. I think the rock side might have been marginally better, but it's comparing 2 landfills. There's no point. I think it's impossible to describe the album to someone who's never heard it. So I do think it's an album you have to listen to truly believe. And here is our first 0 out of 10. It's not a 0 out of 100 for me, which is the rating scale I use on albumoftheyear.com, but it falls in the 0 range. It's a 0 out of 10. And at number 9, we have Tones and I, Welcome to the Madhouse. Obviously, I did not like this album at all. It is truly the most miserable experience I've ever had listening to music. There was not a single standout track. There was not a single standout lyric. There was not a single standout instrumental moment. The whole thing was just terrible. But the vocal tone and performance from Tones and I think was the cherry on top as to what truly cemented it as my least favorite album I've ever heard up to this point. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. If you watch this like movie length video, thank you. That's just crazy to me. This is not the end of me listening to bad music. I plan on making more videos on bad music, but I also enjoy music, believe it or not. I don't want people to think I only hate listening to music. I have plenty of videos where I love listening to music, and I'm going to be putting out significantly more content after this video. I apologize for the wait I've put you guys through this year. So stay tuned. The next video will come out in a few days, and I'll be on a consistent schedule from now on, which I'll announce soon. You can click on either my left or my right if you want more content from me. Genuinely, thank you for the support on Fantano Part 1. I got 1 million views on that video, which is just unfathomable to me. So thank you all so much. And I hope you stick with me for my future content because I am incredibly excited to deliver it to all of you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.